Okay, I just dropped the updated version
Got it.
in the Discord. It's just that other one was like a contest version, so I kind of just went like
It was
autistic trying to figure it out.
It was like all capella.
Yeah, that was like the contest parameters. It was like Capella or TPA, a candy flavor, and 4 flavors. So,
And I have maybe half of this.
I'm sorry, man.
I had to order a few. I had to order a few for that. It's so worth it, though. So worth it.
Okay.
Well,
I wonder how this would.
Welcome
I wonder
to the
how this would
Stopgap, blah
solve.
blah 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 show, whatever Colt wants to call it nowadays. This is what
Do
we're
we do that
doing.
anymore?
I don't know, dude. Colt's been here once in the last 2 months.
Did we just start?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah. Okay.
We're live, okay.
And I'm just playing, showing off Graham's stupid picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
That's a good picture.
And it's gone. Now it's gone.
He's for kids. You're not gonna have him up there.
I wonder how long he's gonna. I wonder how long.
What did he do?
Link though. He did a bunch of stuff in the past, but right now he got arrested for essentially.
Rico.
Yeah, he got RICO charges for there was a shooting and a robbery a couple months ago. There was a fight, and then there was intent to distribute a whole bunch of different chemical substances. So, but those RICO charges are not. That's not a good look. That's not a good look. I don't think he's built. I don't think he's built for jail.
Oh no, he's gonna get super violated.
You know what I mean? No, he's going to be in protective custody. If he
already is, I thought.
Well, he is now, but if he ends up actually getting convicted and doing the 20 to life or whatever they give out for RICO, like he's going to be in some kind of specialty. There's no way they could leave him in a general population situation.
Could you imagine being him and like just going from that? You know, because like 2 years ago, I remember him seeing him. Right, he didn't have all the face tags and any of that, right?
He's a knucklehead, man. He like everybody should have learned. Sorry, we're not going to turn this into a rap nerd session or anything like that, but he should have learned from Bobby Shmurda like 3-4 years ago when that happened, because the same thing happened to him. Like you don't take your whole crew with you and keep doing the same dumb stuff that you were doing before you were famous, especially not if you look like 6ix9ine.
Yeah, that guy.
You know what I mean? Like that dude's easy to pick out of a set of photos.
They have surveillance video of him in some. It looks like a bank or something. Like he was legitimately doing dirt. Like he was like.
That's what I'm saying.
What is wrong with him? He looks like a. What about what Shadi said?
Believe your own hype, man. You believe your own. You know what I mean? Because like.
I mean, there's a reason why when keeping with real goes.
Yeah.
Skid.
Like I don't fuck with his music because I'm too old for it. I think it just doesn't do it for me. But he legitimately has been on top of the rap world for like the last year and a half or so. You know what I mean?
So disconnected.
Yeah, so I think he believed his own, you know, that he's a top and nobody can mess with him or anything. And it doesn't help that he got out of trouble previously. You know what I mean? That he got away with doing stuff before. You start getting that, well, nobody can touch me.
Yeah.
I've been watching it like it's a soap opera. Like I don't know his music, I don't know any of that shit, but I've been watching it like on academics or whatever, like, and just watching them report on it. And what do you think's going on there? You think that he is messing with the feds? Like, do you think that when he got picked up a few weeks ago that he started talking? What's Shotty's deal saying what he said in court the other day? Like, what are they doing? It almost seems like they're up to something.
I haven't been following it except for the headlines at all, because I don't like as much as I rap nerd out on stuff. I actually have to like care about the music, and I don't care about the music enough to get all into this. You know what I mean? Not like I did with like the Drake and Pusha, like the good. You know what I mean? Like
right.
My rap
stuff.
Well, I mean,
Shotty in court, who is Treyway, which is their label, but Treyway is also the 9 Trey Bloods in New York and Brooklyn, and he gets in front of the judge and says they're hitting him with a RICO charge, which means that they're all together. Anything that each one of them does, they get charged with or whatever.
Yeah, racketeering and continuing criminal enterprise. I don't forget what the organization exactly stands for. Yeah.
It's a racketeering criminal ongoing criminal something, whatever. It's how they got them up.
Right.
Shotty gets up and says, "We don't bend, we don't break. Something is fucking Treyway," to the judge.
Smart.
What's he doing there? I mean,
going off the headlines that he's already in already in like a private prison that's basically used just for. So what do you think's going on?
I mean, anybody with unicorn hair, like I don't want to generalize, but if you're screaming about how hard you are and your hair is the color of the rainbow, there's some disconnect there, and maybe I'm just like turning into one of the olds or whatever, but I just don't get it.
It's these fucking millennials.
You know, one thing I will say about like this newer generation of rap is I do like how like inclusive they are, because like when I was growing up, you couldn't have dressed like that and been a rapper. You couldn't have looked like that. You know, so I do like the fact that people are willing to, like, people are a lot more like, you can be who you are more so. I don't think this is who I think he got caught up in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like the nitrate might have been washing their money through him. And like,
yeah, I think he like latched onto some stuff and figured that he could do whatever he wanted because of how big he was or whatever. But I do like the fact that, you know, the kids now, it seems like there's a whole lot less of I mean, even just like with regular kids, like high school and stuff, I think like a lot of like the bullying and that kind of stuff is like kind of dropped off a lot, just with the awareness. And people are a lot more
online now.
People are a lot more accepting and letting you be who you are, or how you want to be, dress how you want to dress. That's like the one thing that I like about.
Oh yeah, my friends would beat the hell out of him in high school. You know, like no way would he have been accepted. He would have been the freak. Yeah, for sure. And that was only 5 years ago.
Yeah. So
5 years ago.
Hey,
5 years ago. You don't look a day over 23, my dude.
Anyway, we got a guest on with everybody knows, I'm sure, the Black Cat White Face, Scott.
Hey.
We have him on.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I thought that I'm like a huge fan of your show now. And
thank you, man.
You would definitely fit in. I was talking to Sin earlier. Sin's in, Sin. She was saying that. I was like, "You think he'd be good on there?" She said, yeah. So I asked you. You said yes. Excellent.
Well,
whatever, man.
Yeah, I mean, let me officially introduce myself to you, Black Cat White Face, Scott. My name is
terrible name, isn't it?
It's not racist either.
It's fine.
It's terrible.
It's not a racist thing.
My name.
I'm like the least racist person ever.
I know. But the name, you explained the name, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, but I just got a black cat with a white face.
I'm the mixer of the famous mango sticky rice that you've seen multiple places. He uses FE sweet rice. If you ever taste any mango sticky rice, it's because they ripped it off directly from me.
It's all true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did Jerry steal it? Is that the whole?
Jerry steals everything.
No, I'm the one who actually gets stolen from. So.
Yeah, Jerry's low key in the background. He gets stolen from all the time. He does. I mean, people don't realize what an unbelievably good mixer Jerry is. I mean, it's just the facts.
No, I called Shindo over here the apple of mixing, because he can take anything that I think of and make it 10 times better.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. What was that he was ready to rip off right there on the spot last week?
An idea Colt had that was based off of the idea I had that was based off the idea Pretty Matthew had.
Right, and then all of a sudden Shindo released it, and he's got a one shot coming out next week.
So okay, so I'm trying to equate this. I'm trying to equate like how the mixers. Do you guys have like competitions against each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have build offs, right?
Right.
We do sometimes, and we used to a lot more often. We do.
They're such a pain in the ass to judge.
Yeah,
it would seem like it'd be impossible almost.
That's where it gets. That's where it gets really hard. Is like you have to start making competitions in set flavoring company, basically, because there are like, by this point there's probably 2,000 flavors on it or something, and it's just like no one has all of those, or at least not like 10 people have all of those in a palette that can judge it. Yeah. So you gotta like set limitations on how to do. A big pain in the ass to do it.
Yeah. The groups, though, like you're saying, they're real similar. That's what I've been thinking that recently. That like the mixers and the coil builders are very similar in the way they move. Like in the things they do in the side of the community. Yeah, like mix off, shit like that, build offs.
We're like a sec. Yeah, we're like that. We're like a niche inside a niche. Both groups.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, honestly, anybody using like the rebuildable stuff is like such a tiny subset of vaping nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Do you actually vape on like the crazy shit that you build?
You know what? The crazy ones, no, because they're too low.
That's because
Too
like
low.
you and Mimi, Wire Theory. Do you know Mimi?
You know, I know who she is. I've never met her, but
Well,
I know Wire Theory is for sure.
You and her and Kent, of course, are like the only builders that because I went through like a builder phase a couple years ago, like when it first really started taking off. But like you, her, and Kent are like the only builders that I pay attention to anymore for like what you guys are making. So
wow, thank you. That's
so,
pretty high regard for me to be held in that. Like those are like
yeah. Well, I mean, you're making some quality stuff, like some really intricate, interesting stuff. But that's because whenever I see Mimi, I always ask her, I'm like, do you actually ever vape any of that? And she's like, and she said the same thing. She's like, no, most of the time, no.
You know, I think you cut your teeth. I mean, as far as like building goes, it's a little different than I assume mixing is, but you kind of cut your teeth on some of the harder builds to kind of throw your hand up to the community and say, hey, like I'm going to the next level. You know, here I am. Then once you're kind of at that level, and I don't know what that level is, like once you get a couple thousand followers on Instagram, because that's really where the builders are.
Yep.
Then you kind of now when I went to YouTube, I kind of took the foot off the gas and I just do vapeable builds now. Really is all I do, and I try to do stuff that's like that I think people will enjoy. Like you guys mix, like you guys try to make stuff that people will enjoy, and I try to like find combinations of metals or different types of metals, like square wire, round wire, ribbon, mixed together like the best way that I could like figure out a vape for someone, and so that's kind of where I'm at now. But
it's a lot.
What's your go-to build? Like you get a new RDA. What's your go-to? Like what do you just throw in there to vape on?
Yeah, I have my build is it's a 0.3 square wire 4-core Alien 36 gauge wrap, 5 wrap on a 3 mil jig, comes out to 0.1 on the nose, dualed up.
Okay.
And that's Nichrome 80. That's my go-to, and that's why all day vape.
Okay. So you like the square? I haven't messed with the square wire at all. Like that started coming out like right when I got out of like doing like fancy builds and stuff. Do you like this? You like the square wire?
I'll tell you, once you try it, you won't go back.
Really?
I promise you.
Okay.
What is it? What is it about it?
I think I try to explain it like it. So it's all about surface area and ramp up, really, like how quickly it's going to ramp up. And obviously like the bigger, like a griddle, you know what I mean? Like you cook something on a griddle. Well, the square wire gives you that nice flat surface. And with the bigger mass of the just that slightly bigger mass in the form of a square over a circle, it just gives you that little itty bit more mass and a little and more surface area. And I don't know, for a long time people did ribbon builds and like staples and frame staples and alien wrap staples and stuff like that. Well, I mean, the square wire just takes it up a notch because you don't have to worry about the thin ribbon heating up at different temps and everything. Square wire is just all going to go at the same time. I don't know. I think it's just magic. It seems like it's so much better than round wire builds. I mean, I preach it. Like if you're gonna vape, get some square wire. Okay. And I actually got it from I got it from the funniest person was Morton Owen. He always talked about flat wire. Remember when you ever watch Morton?
Yeah. He's got that RDA that if you don't fucking, it's not.
Yeah, I'm not
going
to talk about that.
Okay. That's been talked to death anyways. We don't need to get into that.
Okay, so.
But he always talked about like flat wire. Like he would take 22 gauge and flatten it out. And I started thinking, I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. Just that just doesn't sound, because I don't like how the metal isn't even, just doesn't, it's not aesthetically pleasing to me. And so I said, well, why don't I try square wire? So that's where I kind of got it. And I got from another guy named Stu, who's kind of getting into building, but he always asked me to do square wire for him. And I had some laying around and I was like, okay. And I made some and I was like, holy shit. Like the first time I started vaping, I was like, oh my God.
I remember that flattened, like people doing the flattened wire back like in the G-Plat days, if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
The secret wire that turns out
competition wire.
Well, it turned out it was 316 welding wire was all that it was. It was stainless steel welding wire. Like somebody got a sample of it and sent it to a metallurgist, and they assayed it, and they were like, yeah, this is 316L stainless steel welding wire. I was like, oh, okay.
Stainless
and then
steel
they just
wasn't
cratered.
around. Was it? It's
That-
fairly new on the scene.
Well, that's
right? Like,
stainless became a thing after people found out that's what G-plat was.
remember hot wires and
All
G-flat
that.
and
Yeah.
that's.
So you're big
competition
on
wire,
the.
right?
So you like the N80 over stainless?
Yeah, personally, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, there's N80 to me is kind of that sweet spot. Stainless steel's hot. I mean, it's hot and it ramps up quick. And then there's N90, which is hotter than that and ramps up faster than that. And N80, it's really the most prevalent. I mean, it used to be Kanthal, right? Everybody had Kanthal and everybody built with Kanthal. And Kanthal,
Right.
the great thing about it is it's really easy to build with because it's sturdy. And nichrome's soft and stainless is really soft. So, a lot of the more complicated builds are easier to get with Kanthal because you have more spring on it, so you can kind of mess up and go back.
Mm-hmm.
But it was it's popular for a while, but now nichrome I think is probably the majority of people that don't have a nickel allergy. Nichrome is pretty much
Yeah, I went stainless like. Well, I really walked away from rebuildables for a long time. I was using like pod systems and, I got all into salts. And it's only in the last like couple months that I've started like using a regular, a free-base nicotine device, rebuildable device. But I had kind of moved away from Kanthal and I was using titanium for temperature control. And then I was using either Kanthal or N80. And then I got into stainless when like the mechs came back out again. And I've really been using a lot of I got so lazy, like when I quit building I hit up like lightning vapes or advanced vape supply and just got like a couple rolls of like quad core stainless steel,
The pre-wrap or whatever.
multi-core Claptons, and I just like wrap a coil up real quick and throw it on. But hearing you talk about it, like this makes me kind of want to break the drill out again and try some stuff.
I've been watching him for the last maybe 2 months, and like I started building again, like just doing little thing. And today, and I'm talking 3 years, and I'm not kidding, is the first time I've ever successfully done a 3-core alien. Like, and I got one coil out of it, not even like a full strand of it, but it's the first time I successfully did it. And I've tried like at least twice a week for 3 years. It's just like I just couldn't get it. I don't know why that's built so hard. But
it's man, and that's like that's kind of what I do on my channel is like the alien channel because that's what I like to build.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like I have anything to prove to anybody anymore. So it's like I build what I want to like, what I like,
Mm-hmm.
and I just build aliens, and I they're great vape, and I like I like building them. Something about it, and I don't know if you guys get this from mixing, but there's something about like just getting in that mindset, and you just kind of like empty, Like I talk a lot about I'm a recovering alcoholic, so like my brain's fucked up, and like I can like when I sit there and build, like it clicks something in my brain that my brain really likes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So like I just like can sit there and do it, and the alien coil for me is like
there's something satisfying about when that wrap clicks into place.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you hit the right angle and it just starts falling properly.
Yeah.
So
that's what it is. It's the recovering alcoholic, whatever that is in us, because all of us.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that's.
Well, no, but
Come start mixing because I'm like the only one
who's
who's not
You actually
recovering
have to be
here.
in recovery, Grant.
Yeah, you have to quit first, bud.
Okay, so the thing about drugs and stuff that I love.
There's a couple of us on here that are sober, and
Yeah.
a couple on here that are not.
Not.
Oh, hey, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
I
What
wish
I'm
I was
saying is,
I wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
get
know.
a little.
I'm same way.
I get like a millimeter of reward, like of the alien. I get
And then
like a little,
and then it folds over.
it triangle on me, and the things go up and it look all shit like a. But that's the thing. You keep chasing it. I keep chasing it.
Yeah.
That's what it is in us. Yeah, and Jerry will quit one day. He'll be fine.
Still do a lot less stuff than you, Graham, so we're all good.
Oh, come on. It's like opium's a big deal. I meet you guys for 5 seconds. No one's talking to me anymore. What the fuck?
I mean, quitting drinking was hard for me. I mean, first off, I was like really good at it.
For me,
And the
it's
second
the
thing, I was
other
really good at
stuff.
ruining marriages, and it took away both of the things that I was really good at.
All your marriages, or like, is that?
Or just other people's.
No,
Yes.
ruining mine. I was really good at ruining my marriages and drinking. And and both of them are gone now. So it's like I'm missing two things out of my life.
Yeah, that's stinks.
No,
I think the biggest difference with mixing and coil building, like, it's funny because coil building is like a super visual art, and y'all gonna do like the cool like Instagram shit, even with like the macro lenses and stuff. Like, I can show people a picture of a recipe and say, hey, trust me. Like
yeah.
that's as much promotion as we can do with the mixing thing.
Go buy.
Well, I think too. There's a difference between like your set goal. I feel like with coil building, you have a much more visualized goal you can see that you're trying to achieve. And mixing, it's like, I want to come close to this flavor, and it will be something, and it will taste maybe good, but that's what I'm going for. And then like with building, it's like, no, I have goal A, and I'm going to achieve goal A.
Yeah, there's probably a lot more room in mixing, right, for like error or
happy
error,
accidents,
but also
happy accidents.
Yeah, I'll go with happy accidents, but also like ambiguity too, where you're just like, there is definitely goals where it's like, I want to achieve this, and I've never been able to figure out a way to the goal.
Yeah, there's no interpretation on what a certain coil is supposed to look like. It either does or it doesn't.
How often do you swap your builds out? Are you like constantly building new stuff and popping new builds in, or when you get a good one, are you like me and you leave it in for a month at a time and just rewick as necessary?
Yeah, I change it.
Okay.
Yeah, I pretty much anytime I wake up in RDA, I just build something real quick and change.
What about today, man? How'd that go today? How'd that end up? I couldn't watch it. I was getting so anxious watching you not be able to get that screw out. It was giving me an anxiety attack.
Yeah, that the fucking, oh my god, the Luna V2. Ugh.
Did that come out, or what happened?
The deck is awful, huh?
So
I got it out. I got it out.
I had to leave, dude.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. It's like it looked like I'd never rebuilt a rebuildable before, or an RDA before, or an RTA. I was just sitting there like, I can't get it out.
I've been there. I'm like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?
Graham, if you watch my show, like it's all it is a calamity of errors. Like,
today you were having a pretty good time though. Was today the day you said you had a bad day, and then it just continuously got worse? Just
that was Tuesday. That was Tuesday.
I love it, dude. I love it. I love your show. I really do.
Thanks, man.
I really do. Every day. What is it? 5 o'clock, right?
5 o'clock. Yeah, every day 5 o'clock.
That is a whole lot of YouTube time. How you holding up,
dude? Let me tell you, Shindo. It's like. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. And there's a lot of days I get home, I don't want to fucking do it. And I just do it anyway. And I have a really loyal crowd that shows up every day, like the same people. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's fun. I enjoy doing it. I'm not burnt out on it, but yeah, it's
Can you see that happen? But you're doing it right though. You're definitely doing it right. You got your family involved in it. You know what I mean? So nothing's like this. You got it set up where nothing's going to irritate you really. Like me, like every noise in here irritates me, and
every noise in there irritates us too.
My wife is Italian, and like she does it like her version of speaking is screaming.
Yeah.
So
my second wife was Italian. Italian from Staten Island. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, what a nightmare that was. Let's go through it. She was a real mess. Oh.
All right. Well, to give everyone a warning, we're gonna have to Zoom hop in a minute here.
Oh, are we?
We are the
fucking high
timer up top.
Just high rent.
Yeah, most professional show on YouTube.
Pretty much, because our host who has the Zoom controls isn't here because it's his wife's birthday.
Well, and Cocaine canceled his Zoom account, so
yeah. All right, I'll get it. I'll get one.
People are so damn selfish. That's the problem.
He wasn't even using it.
I know.
Yes. Why should he be paid?
That's the exact reason.
Yeah. God.
So Alicia's back.
Hey, Alicia. How you doing?
How's the foot?
The foot's healing. I gotta stay on crutches. It's
Should
healing too slowly.
Should we ask how you did it?
Oh, it's not a big deal. I was just stupid. I was wearing the wrong shoes while riding on an electric skateboard. And when
Were
I
you
hopped
raving?
off, what?
Were you raving?
No, I was
Oh.
riding on, I have an electric skateboard that I got and I was playing with it. And I happened to hop off of it and my foot slid inside my shoe and then rolled over the edge of it and it broke.
Oh. Okay, sorry guys. We'll be right back. Working on it. We're working on it. Working on it. Sort of working on it. Going at my own pace here. Hopefully everyone joins soonish. And I feel bad because it's in the middle of that riveting tale. So hopefully everyone will come back soon and we'll be back. There we go. I feel so bad. I
Really?
quit right then. It's like you're going through your story and it's like, no.
Right at the end. Yeah. But yeah. No worries.
Everything is terrible. Just throwing
Right.
that out there.
Good. You changed your name quick enough.
Yeah.
So are you ever
I
going
don't-
to tell him?
Probably not. No.
Okay.
I mean, I like being Shindo. It makes me feel so fulfilled, I want to say. I feel like I could take on the world as Shindo. So I'm just going to roll with that for a while.
Okay, there you go.
What up, Shin?
Not much. Not much yet. It's been a minute, which has been interesting. So
I had somebody ask me who I kicked to break my foot. And I was like,
Huh.
no, I didn't kick somebody. I broke my foot up in someone's ass. And they were like, oh. And then
Inside
we
of
just like walked away.
it just fell off in
Like,
there.
no, like I broke it while I kicked some. That's just what I told them.
Inside of it.
But
Yeah.
like, but I
you
think
know,
the saying is break your foot off inside someone's ass.
yeah, but I didn't break it off. I just broke it.
Okay.
Yeah, the off portion didn't quite happen.
How did it feel being up in someone's ass as opposed to the other way that you're used to? How'd that feel? We're not on the air yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still on the air.
We never went off the air.
Wait, I did.
It's just an extra element of chaos. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I like it.
It doesn't
I like
end
it. All that.
it doesn't end YouTube. It's me like blabbering for like 5 minutes trying to get it all back together. I'm just like, well,
With me panicking trying to get him to link and over here freaking out. I only got my iPhone or iPad. Tell us about the iPhone, Jerry. How do you feel about it?
it's an iPhone.
You've never had an iPhone, or what's the deal there with?
I've never had an iPhone, but I've had iPads. It's an iPhone. Like there's things I like
Yeah, but
about it,
see-
and there's things I don't.
What'd you get, the 10X or whatever it's called?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Well, I don't know what it's called. I'm just listen. I'm just trying to drum up content here, man. I'm swinging for the fences still.
I know. We're just letting you hang. It's
I
amazing.
know. Fucking linger longer in me like nonsense.
Oh.
Dude.
Oh yeah, I didn't change my name.
It's
Still
so
on that.
deeply fulfilling too. Like, yeah, I just want to live in this feeling forever, Graham.
Just
I
leave
know
Graham
you do.
out there.
Cunts. That's why. Fuck. Whatever, man.
But yeah, welcome to the
Always.
show.
Yeah, we're back. So, I don't know.
Usually it's a
Whatever.
little bit better than this. Not much, but a little bit.
Well, I'm
At least
feeling
we
like
at
we're
least
having a
still
good
have the
show.
Zoom going on the entire time.
Yeah. Well, and Colt's good about having like a list of topics. Like we've just been freestyling for the last like 4 weeks, and it's just degenerated into this at this point.
We've just been wandering through the desert.
Yeah.
Horse with no name.
Is it better because
Oh,
I'm here?
God.
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
everything's
Well,
better because
yeah.
you're here.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
I will say though, I got a soda stream for my
Oh,
birthday,
that's true.
and the
Yeah.
soda stream is amazing.
Are you making your own flavors for it?
I like
I
him
hope.
for a while.
I have been trying to make a perfect Diet Coke analog.
Should have
Well,
done that. No,
If you come up with something good, let me know because I was thinking about sending my friend some concentrates. I want to know what might taste good in that thing.
Yeah, it was
do you mean
funny.
by
Like when my mom gave it to me for my birthday, and she was like, "And I got you." You know, she got like one bottle of the Diet Cola and one bottle of the Diet Orange Soda flavoring, and she was like, "I hope this is going to be okay." I was like, "Well, if it's not, I have access to a couple hundred different flavors at the office that I can try to figure something out with." So been
never
good.
thought about that. Now I'm kind of mad I got rid of mine.
That's when you just say to your mom, you must not know whomst you're fucking with.
Yeah.
Pretty
Don't you know
much.
who I am? The fuck.
Pretty much. But it's a neat thing.
Yeah. I used mine for as long as I could, and then I kind of got over it, and I ended up donating it to like a little coffee shop rehab place. So it was like, he needs it more than I do, because I wasn't into mixing at that time, or I wasn't even vaping at that. So it was just like,
Just drinking.
it's soda.
At least that part hasn't changed for him. He's drinking then, drinking now.
Hey,
Was Grand
listen,
Rapids, when in Rome.
So how's the new
Consistency
place,
is key.
Jerry?
It's still the same as the place from last winter.
Huh?
I like it.
What do you mean? You got like a winter home?
Basically,
What are you talking about? Really?
winter apartment.
How fancy are you? You have separate seasonal housing.
I have
do you
separate
mean?
housing based off of where my work location is, and then also where my significant other's work locations are.
But like, is it the same place?
It's a different apartment, but it's the same
Oh,
apartment
all right.
complex. Yeah, no, it's
I
not
thought
the
you-
same
you-
one.
you-
But I mean, like, layout wise, the only difference is there's a little bit of hardwood over there and carpet over there, and the last one those were. Otherwise, it's the
Oh, I
exact same
forgot.
thing.
how young
That's
you
that's
are.
really gonna fuck with you.
It kind of does.
Yeah, like that's
But
the
it's-
weirdest sense of deja vu. Everything.
Yeah.
It's like you went through the mirror and everybody has a goatee.
And it's just like the smallest bit. But then it's also, it's not even that. It's like looking out
is.
looking out my front window. Because
It
like
is
now I have a front window. It looks exactly the same, but then when you look outside
really?
of
You
it, it's a
think you have
completely
that
different
issue?
view.
My house is on wheels, brother. You
No,
think
it's
you
not.
have that
No,
issue?
it's not that. But it's just like okay, this is the same thing. It feels like it's the same location. But when I
Right.
look
Looked out your
outside, it's completely.
window
It's a
and-
different. It's even the different direction. So it's like, oh,
You ever looked out your window and seen that you were racing with other cars? you ever see that? Totally different location.
I mean,
I
yeah,
could
but
just do a
if
U-turn and
I'm
it'd be like that.
if I'm expecting that, that's fine. For me, it's like, oh, I have a set expectation of, no, my building faces
Yeah, yeah,
south, and now my building faces. Like,
Did I ever show
oh,
you what my front yard used to look like? Did I ever show you that picture? Did you ever see that one with the? It's Amber. It's in the picture. She's holding a balloon.
Do you drive the RV to the gathering of the Juggalos? Is this just
No,
a big setup?
they won't let it in, dude. They don't let it in.
no, they'll let it in.
Goddamn funny.
You can go. I'm sure.
No, they won't let him in. is the
Yeah, they
problem.
won't let me in. I'm too juggalo for juggalo.
When you've been banned from the gathering, you know you've made some questionable life choices.
Yeah.
The place where you can do thousands of whippets every single day. You've been
What
banned
did
from.
that guy say? Remember the scene you sent me of that juggalo thing? Because Jerry's a juggalo. I don't know if everyone knows
I'm not a
that.
juggalo.
But he sent me this thing.
You
of
are
when he
from
was there.
Detroit.
I'm from
Have
the
you-
region,
remember-
yeah, but no, I'm not
What
a
did,
juggalo.
what did he say? What did
The
he
whippets
say? It
never
was damn
stop,
funny.
dude. The whippets never
The
stop.
whippets never stop.
Have you ever OD'd on nitrous oxide? Have
No,
you ever
I'm
done
No.
not.
How is
fucking awful?
Is
You
it?
can, you know.
I would like
can.
to try. I would like to try.
I know you
that.
can.
Yeah,
It's
I'll add
awful.
that to the list.
Yeah.
I just remember I was at a party. I was at a party one time. I was sucking down balloon after balloon after balloon. All of a sudden, I look at my buddy and I'm like, I don't fucking feel so good. He's like, what? I just like fell over for like 3 hours. I was out. Fucking awful. Woke up, dude. My head felt like that, man.
Oh,
I think you do that still, right? Leash? Like the raves? Don't
What?
they do balloons? They do balloons at the raves still, right?
I've never done a whippet in my life.
I'm not
Good
saying
for
whippet,
you.
I'm talking
Missing
like
out,
real
girl.
nitrous.
you don't know what you're
pussy
I
missing.
have
shit.
been offered many
talking
times,
about
but I'm
tanks,
like, I'm
baby.
not interested in just asphyxiating. Like that seems dumb.
Well, not that way.
I haven't enjoyed it.
It's
I don't think I'd enjoy it. But I have a shitload of nitro, like a
well,
lot
that's
of
what I'm
it.
saying. See what I'm
So
saying?
you're making
See
whipped
what's
cream or what?
hard?
Well, I
Or-
had a friend who went to a party where a bunch of these like younger people
See,
were doing a
something always.
shitload of whippets. They were doing so many whippets that they weren't even aware when he picked up the box of like something like 900 canisters of them, the little
See,
ones.
so it wasn't
The
like
little-
totally
little
off
whipped
base.
Grabbed
cream
them
canisters.
all and he
Yeah.
brought them out. And he's like, these kids are like, I wasn't at that party. He brought them out of the party himself, took them away from the kids without them noticing or whatever, and then brought him home. And he called me up and he's like, hey, you don't do whippets, right? And I'm like, no, I've never done one. And he's like, okay, perfect. You're the person to give this to then. And he's like, you'll figure out something. But I have a growler that's pressurized, so I did nitro cold brew coffee in my growler for a bit. I did also get a whipped cream canister thing. So I can
Yeah, I mean, you might have the nitrous is the expensive part of that whole making your whipped cream at home. So you got that taken care of now.
Yeah, he gave me like a big bag of it, something like 100 of them.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like 96, 97. I had a tank, right? You know, like one of those tanks. Do you know that shit is used in cars?
Yes.
That's I can't believe that.
No, I do whippets on a fairly normal basis, but the dogs.
The little tanks, not the big ones.
No, I had a big tank.
Yeah, the big tanks are expensive.
I knew a guy that was selling balloons.
You have one like they have like when you go to like a Grateful Dead or like a Fish concert with the guys out in the parking lot with the
big tank selling the balloons.
But those are that's not good for you. That stuff.
Like every once in a like sometimes I think I miss the previous lifestyle, and then I remember like a particular event, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't
waking up on Tuesday,
right?
Some guy named I don't know. I'm not into that anymore either. The whippet, that's just a weird thing. Yeah, because I remember this guy used to get it filled at this race car place, and I was like, that cannot be good for you at all. At all. It's supposed to be. It's the same shit though, right? That they use in cars.
Yeah, but I mean, that's such a bogus argument because like lots of shit is the same stuff they use in different applications.
Right.
Like you shouldn't huff it because it goes into like a car's fuel system. You should probably not huff it because you're asphyxiated.
You're an adult.
Yeah.
You're an adult. How about that?
But I mean, it is a fuel unit. So.
I mean, you put like water into a car's radiator or whatever, so you probably shouldn't drink that either.
Yeah,
you know?
don't be drinking antifreeze. God damn it. That's
really
true.
thirsty.
It's sweet.
It's supposed to taste delicious.
Fucking thirsty, mate.
That's I don't know.
So did you ever watch the Steve-O documentary on MTV?
Yeah.
Remember Steve-O?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was doing like thousands of those a day.
Yeah.
Right?
They like showed his apartment. First off, his apartment looked like somebody like they had a fucking MMA like festival fight. Like everything was destroyed in his apartment, and he was like swimming through canisters of whippets. He had done so many. It was like thousands of them all over through his room, bathroom, kitchen, living room, everywhere. Fucking whippets everywhere.
Did he drill a hole through his wall or something? And like,
dude, he fucking destroyed his apartment. Completely destroyed it. Like such a dickhead.
That's when he got arrested.
Well, I mean, he's got a giant portrait of himself tattooed on his back.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's rad. He, at least it's a good story. I mean, he's sober now, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He says he is.
Well, he's doing better than Artie Lang.
Dude, what's up with Artie Lang's nose?
Fucking Artie Lang. Is he dead yet?
No.
He's gonna be. That's crazy to me. His nose is crazy.
He's in rehab again now.
Is he in rehab now? He needs to get his nose fixed. That's disturbing. Fuck, what happened to it? Why is it like that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Dude, you can only beat yourself up for so long before you start falling apart.
Yeah, he really does too. Like, I'm just bullshitting most of the time when I'm talking about it, but he's like really. It's crazy. It's dangerous.
So, do you guys end up with mystery bottles of juice, like where you mix some stuff up and you throw it in a bottle and you're like, I'll remember what this is. I'm going to vape all of it before I do something again.
No.
The majority.
So I just realized this one I just dripped it onto like a super sub-ohm build to test, and it was definitely salt. So that was fantastic.
I mix a lot of bottles and then I like say, oh, I'm going to label them, and then I don't label them, and I go back and start smelling them to try to figure it out, and then I just realize I'm a shitty mixer.
Just because you just can't identify it.
It all fucking smells the same. It's fine.
I have like all of my bottles from Vegas being shipped to me, and none of those are labeled, obvious. And I'm remembering, oh yeah, I think at least 12 of the same.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Sure.
That was the best part of Vegas, was just being super decadent. Like at the end when they were tearing down, I'm like, I have a bunch of like half-finished bottles of juice in front of me. I'm just like, you know what? I can lie and say I give a shit. I do not. Where's the trash can?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm super happy is like getting 500 milliliters of like peppermint chocolate.
Yeah, I got the vanilla ice cream one.
Oh, there you go.
It's not 500 mils though. It's like I think it's like a 4 ounce.
Do you get sponsored by any wire guys, or do you have to buy all your own supplies?
I don't get no wire. No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
hard to get sponsored by. Yeah, there's only really one. There's only one team, maybe Kidney Puncher, and there are. I mean, no, you got to pretty much know somebody to get on their team, but the other ones don't. There used to be a lot actually. Yeah. Lightning Vapes and KB and all them used to be. They don't really anymore. I mean, you can get discounts, wholesale discounts if you use their wire or whatever, but no. Not
what about like
so if you're building every day, how much wire do you go through?
Like production building, like if you're building,
like how much wire do you go through in a week? How many spools do you go through in a week?
None.
Really?
No spools. I don't go. I rarely probably a spool like every couple of weeks. Like
really?
I have all 1,000-foot spools and.
Oh, okay. You use the big guy.
And I don't production build, but if you're production building, I mean, you'll go through a ton, absolute ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you see M-Turks, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say we talked about
like M-Turk.
Watching M-Turk just like do 40 foot at a time of alien wire, just walking down the room with it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're doing that kind of building, then you're gonna go through. Those spools he uses are 500 feet, and he goes through about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
A day.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I go through like 1,000 feet. Will take me literally like 2 or 3 months because I literally only build on my show. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I don't build it all after that. Like special orders, like I do a special order thing like once a week. So I'll send stuff out to someone, and that's like the only building I'll do other than on the show.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, you do. I like the way you feature like other builders, like give them exposure. It's pretty dope.
Yeah,
I like that. You do that every week, right?
Every week, man, we have a different person. Yeah, every week. I got. Speaking of M-Turk, I'm featuring him in like. I think it's like 3 weeks. 3 weeks featuring M-Turk. So it's pretty cool. I give away his coils at the end of the week, and we spend a day going through his builds and stuff like that. So it's geeky, but I mean, people who like building.
Well, I'm just glad to see that there's people that are doing like build videos again. You know what I mean? Because there was like a phase where, Kent and Dwayne and M-Turk were putting up, and Squid Dude were like putting up videos like fairly regularly, and then that just like completely fell off for like, for like a year or two. There wasn't anybody really doing like building on a regular basis. So it's good that you're doing that and getting people interested in it again.
I hope so. Yeah, it's Nick Devine is really the he's the best one. Yeah, and then my show, and that's pretty much it. There's really not a whole lot of building shows that I'm aware of.
No,
on right
really
now.
Isn't. Mm-hmm. Who's the best? Who's the best?
The best builder?
Yeah.
You're on the spot.
I'll say this: building live is completely different than building. Like building live is tough because there's always a lot of shit that goes wrong. So that being said, I will say that probably Nick Devine is probably the best. That's just because he can build live. But there's like Mindforge is amazing. There's a lot of new guys. There's a lot of new guys that have only been building like 6 or 7 months and are starting to really come up. And it's like amazing how it's changing now to more of like a artistic type builds, and a lot of the standard builds that we kind of grew up on are kind of being used different ways, and and different install things like that. So probably Nick can build. Nick does a pitchfork live, which a pitchfork is like the hardest. Literally, you'll pull your hair out trying to get. It's hard as hell. He'll do it live and get it in one sitting, and that there's not many people. I would say there's maybe 4 or 5 people on the planet who could do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm pretty good friends with Rambo.
Oh yeah. And then Rambo, of course. Rambo's really good. And that's the thing. I'm not trying to take away from anybody, obviously.
No, I don't really know though. Like I've never seen him really doing anything. Like Nick, I see. Like I'll watch because I watch his shit. But like I've seen like the end result with Rambo, but like not watch like Nick does. Like
there's quite a few.
It really is crazy.
I mean, if you're gonna, in that category, so there's like a master class. We're kind of weird. We have like your beginner, mid level, and then your master class builders, and like out of them, like Nick, Mindforge, Rambo's in there, Matt Massey's in there, and then you have guys. If you go on Instagram, there's a lot of guys.
Instagram is the spot, right?
For builders, yeah.
So when are you going to partner up with an Addy company and release the Black Cat White Face Atomon, the RDA?
Man, honestly, just what I have an idea for one that how I would do it, but I wouldn't. It would. You're not getting anything in writing. You know what I mean? So it's like you give them your idea. This is what I think. This would be a really great vape, and then the next thing you know, they'll make it. You may not see any money from it.
Right.
No, I kind of like what Jay did. I don't know if you watch Jay or not, but Jay went with an American company to make his.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
okay,
You have to put a lot of money up front. I'm not willing to do that.
Not going into specifics since you actually have an idea, but like, what is your more preferred style of RD? Are you more airflow, like central airflow top, things like that, or are you more flavor?
What's your number one RDA?
Oh man. So that's hard to say. Out of like this year, probably the BTFC. I really like the BTFC a lot. I like bottom airflow, and
I don't even know.
I've moved into kind of being more of a single coil guy, and I'll tell you an RDA that I really like that nobody likes. I really like the C4 RDA by Osmotis. It's a single coil.
The little one?
Huh?
The little one with the colored caps?
Yeah, with the fucking awful. It's ugly as hell.
Yeah. They don't even match. Like
the flavor on it. It's a 24 millimeter single coil RDA, and they have the chamber reducers on either side. The coil right in the middle with the airflow coming like directly underneath it, not directly, but like down at an angle and up.
Yeah.
The flavor on it is fucking amazing. I love that RDA. I mean, I don't like 528 customs, but I like the goons. I mean, the original twist style decks.
Yeah.
There's so many, man. I really like the Phobia, which a lot of people don't like.
Dude,
the
me too.
I like that.
I like the original Phobia though.
Yeah, the original. The Phobia 2 I reviewed. It's fucking awful.
Yeah,
the Phobia 1's good. Yeah.
The Ghoul is probably my sleeper of the year, like the single coil.
Yeah.
RDA.
I'm not a big ceramic clamp guy. I can't get past clamps.
Me neither, because they break and then you're screwed.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and that screws don't fit in them right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the point of why people are trying to do the ceramic clamp everywhere. I feel like just do a metal clamp. You're going to get better connectivity. You're going to get better connection. You can snug it down really good and not have to worry about cracking the block. You know what I mean?
What is it though? Because I have 2 ghouls and a hermetic or whatever it is, and I don't have I've cracked all the ceramics. So like, what could I use? Could I use something else? I don't understand what the reasoning is behind the ceramic. I'm not getting it.
No, it's just somebody decide. It's like anything else in vaping. One person does it, and then all the other companies have to do their version of it because it's the thing that everybody's doing right now.
Follow the facts.
Could I use a piece of Delrin? You think like?
I mean, just put a penny in it.
Just blow me up, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Just drill out a penny.
Somebody told me there's a reason why. There is a reason.
There's gotta be, right?
But I can't recall. And I remember watching a review and somebody explained why they're using the ceramics. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, I don't get it. Personally.
I'm not. Yeah, it's not my gig.
I'm not doing a penny though. No way.
Because if you use ceramic and it breaks, then the person's going to have to buy a new one.
That might be it. It might be
people
it.
to come back and buy
Planned obsolescence.
Yeah,
I mean, really, at the end of the day, you're selling chunks of metal, like drilled out metal. Like, you got to have something to have people keep buying new shit. I mean, that sounds conspiratorial or whatever, but it's not like RDA stop working generally.
Right.
No, but you can get better flavors. Go for it.
Yeah.
I will say though that like once people figured out to do the 2-post, like once Kennedy actually I don't know who had the very first 2-post. I guess maybe the Velocity.
Petrie.
I always heard it as
Petrie,
Velocity.
yeah, either the Petrie or the Velocity. But like once the 2-posts like came to be a thing, like I have not gone back to a 3-post RDA ever since. You know what I mean?
4-post came back.
I did for a little bit. I did for a little bit and didn't like it.
Right.
Well, they came with the 4-post because remember it was all 3-posts, like the Derringer, and then it went to like. Then the dot mod came out with it was 2 posts, but it was 1 hole on each post. Remember, it wasn't Velocity; it was 1 hole.
Yeah.
And then the Velocity came out, and then the 4-post came back, like where there was a middle post, but it had the 4 holes.
Like the plume veil, where it was the row across. Yeah. I still have 1 or 2 of those that I'll use, but like the 2-post, just like, or the equivalent of the 2-post, which kind of like the postless kind of fits into that as well, like the.
Right.
the one that you just said. I just looked up the one you said. It's kind of like the like a dead rabbit or like a drop dead style deck where it has like the pieces that come up and then you slide them down into it. Like that's
Still
just
really-
such an easier way to build.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think it was the Transformer, Vaporesso Transformer.
Yeah,
That was the first post list I ever had. I wish one of these companies would make one of these little tiny flavor bangers that is just like a single or dual airflow, single coil post list.
It's
Like
there's one out there. Like they got those little ones. Like
I'm big on the single post now.
yeah. Like what do you mean?
Everybody wave goodbye. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very
Really
much.
cool. We'll do it again. When
Yeah. No,
I'm
definitely
not
come
away.
back.
Every day,
All right.
5 o'clock
Thanks.
Eastern. Every day,
5 o'clock,
Eastern.
man. Yeah, if you guys want to watch 5 o'clock on my YouTube channel.
For
I'll
sure.
post your
Okay.
channel in the chat. For sure
I'll
too.
see you tomorrow.
Oh,
Robert.
And we'll link it up.
Let's see. All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah, but I'm totally onto single coils now. Like
Yeah,
it's
me
very
too.
rare that I break out a dual
Yeah.
at this
Me
point.
too. Yeah,
So
I've completely changed up.
Hey, what we can do it, Scott? If you gotta go, we can put in a
Yeah.
talk for you.
I've got an idea for an RDA, so I still use the original recoil, and I want to say that the
Coil's so
point,
good.
dude, the original recoil is still my favorite RDA, and I think the thick ass barrel has something to do with it. So I want to just take a solid slug of metal and drill it out, and then put like a 14 millimeter RDA deck in the middle and see what happens.
There's a new one coming out that's like that. It's like 18. It's an 18 millimeter, I think, and it's got a huge. It's like the cartel mod. Remember the one I showed you I had last week? It has
Yeah.
it has an atomizer that I have that goes on top of it. That is real thick. It's like thicker than the profile. The profile is pretty thick too, but this one's probably like a millimeter or two, maybe 2 or 3. Does that seem right? It's real. I don't know how much a millimeter is, but the walls are super
It's
thick.
a millimeter is a millimeter. That's what it is.
The walls are super. What's an average RDA top? How many millimeters is that? Like not even one, like a 15th of one.
No, it's like a half like between a half to a millimeter.
Okay, so this is probably about 4 millimeters.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I want a 30 millimeter RDA, but
Right.
I wanted to have like a 22 millimeter build deck.
That's exactly what this is. It's exactly what this is. I have one of those right in front of me.
I want the damn
So
thing to
crazy.
weigh a pound by itself.
It
It's
does, dude.
amazing.
It's so
It
good.
means it's reliable, right? From Snatch.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Sturdy.
Means it's reliable. What's that in your pants, Tommy? That's a gun, Turkish. For what, Tommy? The Germans? God, that's such a good movie. I wish Guy Ritchie still made movies that good.
What was the last movie he actually made?
King Arthur, maybe?
Okay, yeah, I didn't even like pay attention to that.
Let me look. I don't think he's made anything since then. Guy Ritchie.
Can there like be a good sequel?
I mean, there is the Spartacus
Gladiator.
show that was pretty good.
Gladiator?
Good historically accurate movie? Let me go with that.
Hey, Gladiator is the best movie ever made.
But historically accurate, it is not.
No.
I mean, who cares about historical accuracy? Like, the point of history is that it's fucking boring. Like, nobody wants to watch a historically accurate movie.
Oh shit,
I mean,
he's doing
dude, Death of
he's
Stalin
doing-
was mostly historically accurate. and
Wait,
it was
wait. Guy
What's going on?
Ritchie is directing the Aladdin live action remake for Disney.
And I just got hard.
That could be
Yeah.
good.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, good for him for cashing them checks.
Yeah, but it was King Arthur before. Oh, he did The Man from U.N.C.L.E. before. So it was Sherlock Holmes, and then the Sherlock Holmes sequel, the one with Robert Downey Jr. Those weren't terrible, but then he did The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and that was actually pretty good.
Okay.
That was actually pretty
Are you
good.
guys gonna watch the new Sherlock Holmes movie?
I mean, there's
the one
another one?
The one with John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, then.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Good.
I need another Step Brothers out of them, man.
Oh,
Yeah, and apparently it's gonna be Watson and Holmes.
Right.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I don't know. I want like a semi realistic movie from that time period, is most of them are like really painfully inaccurate.
Maybe.
Well,
What about Caligula? You ever seen Caligula?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Caligula is like
You know, it was
Caligula
accurate
is
as fuck.
closer, but it's
I'm
just like
just
okay,
kidding.
like I mean the problem with Gladiator is like most of them weren't actually forced to be gladiators. It was like a chosen profession,
Mhm.
and it's just like knowing that it's just like well, this just ruins half the movie for me.
okay, but like the problem with historically accurate movies in general is that you have like fucking Caligula on one side, and you have a whole bunch of people like starving to death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
which
Like-
I mean, yeah, dude, it's accurate.
Like history sucks in terms of like 98% of the people involved in history. Like it what was it? Thomas Hobbes talking about life being nasty, brutish, and short.
Mm-hmm.
And
it still is in the majority in a lot of the world.
Yeah.
People forget that.
I don't know. Like it's I don't know. It's also just because like for the last 6 months, all I've been doing with my life outside of work is just playing Total War always. So it's just like no, I just want like a good movie of the time period.
Wait, is that the mobile game?
No,
Okay.
nah. It's well they did make a version for iOS
Mm-hmm.
of like
Yeah, 'cause I
the
get
2004 version, like Rome Total War.
Yeah.
That is like I think 2006. That was one of the earliest ones, and they did make that into a mobile.
Yeah, because I get advertisements for it sometimes on some of the other games that I play.
But like all of them are like always now. I don't know. They have like 20 now, but they're just super in depth battle games for the computer.
You know, the most in-depth battle game for the computer, and still probably the best game ever made, is Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Okay, I can accept that.
I'm throwing that out there. I started playing that again, and like they have an entire fan community that like added a whole new town, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, of course.
It's like 20 years old, and it's amazing, and nobody needs to play any games other than Heroes of Might and Magic 3. That's my official decree.
It,
Yeah, I mean, it has everything you could want. It has elves and demons and crusaders. Like, it covers all the bases. It literally is the best. Like, the only thing it's missing is like robots, and then it'd be perfect. It'd be the perfect game.
Here's a Magic
Cowboys,
4 robots.
maybe some robots and cowboys. There you go. Next to fan-made towns, I just perfected the already perfect game, Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
you just perfected it. That's it. So nothing else can be done with it. All right, I'll go with that.
That's gonna be.
The genre's over.
I mean, no, you're like. I wouldn't be surprised if
known.
that ends up being the future of video games. Is Heroes of Might and Magic 3 on all of your mobile devices?
Yeah, it'd be so good on a mobile device. Let's just make this happen. Like from now on, I'm just gonna make unlicensed Heroes of Might and Magic 3 knockoffs. That's gonna be my new career.
Like
Yeah.
that JFK video game. Did you ever see that one? Is that what
JFK Reloaded. I had that back.
it was dope.
Amazing.
Remember that?
Yeah.
There was like another one, like a Custard Last Stands too, right? Or something like that. That was remember that one?
Last Stand.
That was for Atari.
And it was
wasn't
racist
authorized,
and
was
sexist.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I mean, hey,
I
dude,
don't
it fit him
remember it.
well then.
It was unauthorized though, right? Or was it just ridiculous? Like I remember like hearing something about that. Something about them being in
It was just
Canada.
that. It was just back in the day when you could do whatever the fuck you wanted.
when Bugs Bunny was a racist asshole. Yeah. That was pretty
They've taken away. They've really removed a lot from Looney Tunes videos. The old like Looney Tunes cartoons. If you get like the box set, they've taken like all like any instances of a character smoking has been removed from it.
right. What are you saying, like Jap? He was big
They
on
do
the
that
Jap.
all the time, like over the time they feel. I mean, if you go back and look at like old, even Disney, like things from like old Disney, not movies, but like skits and stuff before movies, like half of those you'll never see again.
Right.
So you find some random thing on.
Yeah.
You gotta really prune out the casual racism.
Yeah, no, he wasn't even.
Just go back to the
casual, like Bugs Bunny.
1940s. It wasn't casual. Yeah.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny was all about it. He really didn't like Japanese. He just didn't.
I mean, Daffy Duck became a Nazi.
Oh yeah.
I think you mean the Chinese.
No, it was the Japs. He used to say Japs a lot, like a lot. Like, but it was probably the Chinese too. I don't think he liked any of the Chinese.
He'd dress up as a Chinese person.
Were you
Like
going
a
to say
stereotypical one?
Were you going to say Chinaman? You were going to say Chinaman.
No, that
I actually.
that
You were
would
trying to
be
bait me into saying Jap. You
Mr.
tried to bait me
69
into
there.
saying. Wow.
If Daffy Duck was alive today or like real, he would totally be a proud boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or a duck.
Daffy
I
Duck
understand.
naming breakfast cereals while circle jerking with a bunch of other losers.
They never wear pants.
Oh, I'm into it.
What's with the ducks not wearing pants?
Time to search DeviantArt.
yeah.
Rule 34, man, it exists.
I'm not looking for Rule 34. I'm looking for some other rule. Daffy Duck is just Donald Trump fan number.
He is Donald Trump. I think there is a clip of him. One of those ducks dressed. I have like a memory of one of them ducks dressed like Donald Trump. Maybe it was like I don't know.
I don't think it was Daffy.
Acid
I
trip.
think it was
Like
it
his
was,
nephew or something.
No, it was God, which duck was it?
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen it. I'm
Yeah,
trying
he
to
has, like,
remember
the
which.
hair.
I don't
Is
remember
that the
what
RDA
one it
you're
is.
talking about,
It's
right? The one I sent you the picture of?
One who plays like Scrooge McDuck. That one.
Yeah. Dastardly Ducker. The fuck is his name?
Scrooge
Daffy.
McDuck? What?
Like
Scrooge
the
McDuck.
DuckTales. The DuckTales.
Yeah,
guy.
it was
Yeah, that's
DuckTales.
Scrooge. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't play Scrooge McDuck. He is Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Scrooge McDuck is the character.
But
but
it's
like
been forever since I've seen any of those. My memory's kind of failing me after last week.
Scrooge McDuck was competent though. Like Scrooge McDuck would be one of the like Koch brothers at this point. Like,
You'd rather
Dude,
have him as your president?
DuckTales is a fantastic cartoon.
That's good, yeah.
Great.
The new version is very good as well. By the way,
I haven't had an excuse to watch that. I haven't been around my nephews too much. That's on my list of things to use as an
As soon as they're
excuse
around.
to
Yeah,
watch it.
It's
Yeah.
pretty decent.
it's pretty good.
What are you guys' thoughts on SpongeBob?
Didn't the guy just die?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Aw.
I missed that entire thing. Like that was just right after I stopped like watching like the Nicktoon kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was
didn't
guessing.
get the ironic wave.
Because I wanted, yeah. We
Wait.
talked about it on No Life, but it was like, no, realistically, I wanted Rocco, but like, I do have to give SpongeBob a lot of credit just because for a lot of the 90s, at least for me growing up, it seemed like a lot of the humor was built off of catchphrases. Not the humor, but everything had a catchphrase. You know, Johnny Bravo, it's "Hey baby," stuff like that. You know, Dexter's Lab is just about Dee Dee being a bitch. Rugrats is a baby's got to do what a baby's got to do, stuff like that. And then I give SpongeBob credit because like every season had some fucking meme quote that everyone knows.
Well, I think they're also doing. What do you think? Do you think they're doing something on SpongeBob, like some sort of subliminal something? Because I have two daughters that were both like addicted to that shit. Like the look in their faces when they would watch SpongeBob was different than anything else. I always noticed that they were like just.
I mean, yeah,
know what
no,
the
I know
fuck
what
it
you
is.
mean because like I still have younger nephews and stuff like. Totally, that was the era, and it was just like, oh yeah, they were super into it.
But they would stop. Like my daughters would both stop what they were doing and stare at it, and just stare at it and watch it like the whole. You know what I'm saying?
Monsters,
like
there you go.
I think it's more interesting the fact that SpongeBob has been around for as long as it has and has retained the level of popularity.
No, it's
because like the stuff that I grew up with didn't last near. Yeah, I mean SpongeBob's going like what is it like 20 years now?
almost, if not,
It's gotta be, yeah.
Because I mean, like for me growing up, it was
Wow.
Rugrats, and that was like it was huge that Rugrats lasted 12 years. And now SpongeBob's like, no, I'm doing 20.
20 years.
Like,
Wow.
Not, I don't know if it's at 20, but I think it's 18. I think it came out in about 2000.
Yeah, you're probably right. But still.
So I want
That's
to point
crazy.
out the girlfriend is not avid, like weird, but she collected some toys and like this still has the plush armpit hair on it.
Dude, I'm so happy it has the armpit hair.
Yeah, I know. Like that's amazing.
I love Dollar Real Monster.
I feel so weird touching that right now. Kind of turned on.
You're
Again.
probably we already knew you were on a list, but you're on another list now.
Yeah.
On
Still
so
feels
many
good, though.
lists.
It's all right, dude. Just do what feels good.
Oh,
Worry about
holy
the
shit.
lists.
This one does this. That's amazing. I've
Oh,
never
I
taken
see.
these off the shelf before. Megan's going to kill me for playing with her toys.
I see a lot of uses for that.
Dude, it was like Our Real Monsters was probably the coolest school show growing up. That was always the part that was weird about it. Was like they're all in a monster school, yet they can break out and do whatever the hell they want, and they're monsters.
I'm just disappointed that John Kay from Ren and Stimpy turned out to be a complete dirtbag. Who would have guessed, right?
Yeah, that was such a weird. The show was weird.
And we're doing it again. We got this. We got this. Round 37, round 84. Doing it again. Bam. People will join. Keep talking about them good 90s. Hopefully. Chat. There we go. We're good. We're good. Graham, you're back. You did.
Yeah, I'm back. We're good.
You're back.
Everybody's back.
Pretty
We're good,
Matthews
we're good.
back. There we go. We're good. We're good.
Dude, I'll get the account for next week for sure.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah, Colt should be back.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, if Colt's not back, we throw a fit.
yeah, I think he spaced it. I think it was,
Colt's just lost without in the mix. Let's be real.
Oh, no, he needs somebody to listen to him. So I'm
Yeah, he definitely
happy.
does.
I feel like it's community service if we give him like an outlet. Keeps him from doing something super, super weird.
That he just never shows up for anymore.
It's his wife's birthday
I
or
know,
something,
I know,
which seems
yeah.
like a real excuse. I want to
Yeah.
say, not like me, like, oh, I just don't think I can handle human interaction after hosting Thanksgiving.
Is
That
what
was my
happened?
Excuse last week. Yeah.
But you didn't even give an excuse. You
Oh,
just
dude.
didn't even come, right?
Didn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I just don't show up. I'm terrible. I'm the worst person in the entire damn world,
Oh
except
no,
for
you're
Shane.
fine. You got to. We did this last year, but like, the Thanksgiving show is always. I guess it's now a tradition. It's not really a show. It's all of us getting.
Okay, I just found something out.
Oh, did you do that last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have joined in. I didn't even see that there was a thing.
Yeah, Colt
Like-
decided to do it last minute, so I was like,
Oh.
all right,
The eyeballs are on strings.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Perfect. No, that's true to
Okay.
character though.
Yeah.
Dude, my favorite excuse in the whole world for not showing up or whatever, not excuse, but just like reason, is Alicia's from 2 weeks ago. It might be the greatest thing anybody's ever said to me about not doing a show.
What was it?
I said, I'm going to read it because I don't want to fuck this up. I want to read it. This is great. This is goddamn great.
I don't feel like we can deal with this level of expectation. It's going to be
Dude,
mediocre
no,
at
it's
best.
not. It's actually going to live up to it. Listen to what she said to me. I said, yo, Leash, we need you. She goes, but, ... Seahawks, ... And it's only 2 of you at the moment. That means I'll have to talk a lot, and the game's on ... It's my team.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that isn't hilarious. I mean, that just
It's
makes
absolutely
logical sense.
No, because it was just me and Jerry. It's hilarious.
You
It's
act like
hilarious.
I'm. Whenever the Red Wings are playing or the Lions are playing, I have it on my second monitor.
No,
Every
Yeah, I
single
have-
just
every
me and
week,
Jerry,
every
we're dying.
time.
If it's just me and Jerry, we're dying, and you go, that means I'll have to talk a lot. That's pretty funny. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
have to
honest.
participate more. That's all.
Hmm?
I don't want to have to tell stories to fill time when I'm distracted by my team.
Who's this
But-
picture, Graham?
Of what? That's
Oh,
of the RDA that Rick was just describing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but could we make the deck even smaller? Like,
That's like a 20-inch deck.
That's
or
a
20
pretty
millimeter deck.
small deck.
how about
That is like that much tubing around it.
Yeah, it's only a
14
30
millimeter, and I want like the big 40 millimeter hammer of God diameter on the outside.
So it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's why
let's make it even weirder.
I have this mech mod, this cartel mech mod. It's a 30 millimeter, and I have like a 22 millimeter RDA on it.
Dude, I love that cartel mod. The boss.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
This is the RDA we're
pretty
talking
cool.
about in question.
It came with I got the old Aegis, you know, the original Aegis that was a 26650, and it came with one of those battery adapters. So I've been using like just regular batteries of this. It's actually working out pretty good. It also will take up to a 21700. This cartel one, I think. Yeah, 217.
Vaping's dumb.
I'm getting there.
So
It's us paid, but it's still.
it doesn't get us paid enough. Shut your mouth.
I didn't say it, didn't I? I didn't say that.
I'm a genius, and they should be handing me stacks of cash. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think of that often.
I need the
You're not
VGOT showing up at my house with a briefcase full of crisp bills.
So I can't wait till we invite Black Cat back on.
He's a good guy, right?
No, he's a great guy. But I also just want him to. I want Rick and Shindo to be there.
Oh, how funny was that? Well, he got confused because Rick said he's going to be Shindo.
Yep.
And then he
It's
kept calling you
fine.
Shindo.
He introduced himself as Shindo.
Yeah, he may have been going. Yeah.
It's a bit. It's
Oh
fine.
no, it's great.
It will work out, or it won't. Who cares?
But for tonight, you are the best mixer in the world.
We just hit the nihilistic stage of my YouTube interactions where it just doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
I just wanted to
gonna
live in
do?
Shindo's skin.
You better stop knocking it, dude. You better stop knocking the YouTube thing, because what happens if it goes away? Then what?
Then I'll just go ahead and talk at myself in a mirror, try to appear like I'm not the world's worst human being for short periods of
there's a
time.
lot-
Go to the next media platform that would.
No, man. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time that you're on YouTube.
I'm gonna go over to Instagram and I'm gonna become an Instagram streamer and I'm gonna make like protein shakes and
I
shit.
mean, don't get me wrong. For my entertainment, yes, it will suck. For doing this onto another platform.
I've evolved
I got
beyond
this-
flavors. From now on,
I
I
got
only
this
vape kerosene.
You make that taste good. I got this live.me, these live platforms. I can't believe how many fucking people these people get.
Yeah,
they
every
get all
time
the
you show me
suckers.
that, Graham, though, they're all just, it's the most like fucking mouth breathy shit
I
on.
know, and there you have 12,900 viewers watching them do nothing. It's insane, dude. It really is.
I don't
I don't know what the
understand,
hell's
and I
going
don't
on.
want to understand. I don't want to crack the secret to that market, man. I just want to let it be its own cesspool.
But it's not the market. It's like everything. It's like, I don't know. It's the same market as would be over here. It's just they're blended in. I don't know, man. I'm addicted to it now. Stop talking about it badly.
No, like I legitimately question sometimes like why I have this thing about like being on YouTube and stuff, and like it just seems like going over to the point where I'm talking about my everyday life is crossing some sort of line. Like at least now I can just claim it's because I want to talk about a certain subject. Like that's okay, I guess, but like just saying that people need to be invested in like my mundane, boring day-to-day shit just seems like a bridge I don't want to cross.
Yeah, that's because you know shit. You know what I mean? You have stuff to offer.
Well,
Most
those
people
people
don't.
should have something to offer too. Like I'm a big fan of like I know it sounds
Talking
like
about me.
no, like I know it sounds jerk offy or whatever, but like if you're gonna ask for somebody's time, like you should have something to say in general.
It's crazy.
So,
though, 'cause
how
they
was
do
your
not.
day, Shindo?
Apparently it was bad and I feel like ranting.
Yeah, well, you're on the other side of your what do you call that? The bipolar, not the bipolar, the other side of your manic.
MPS.
Like 3 weeks ago, you were the other way, and now you're on the other side of your manic this week.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
different. It's different shades of depression, man. It doesn't cross over in the full blown manic episode because I don't ever get shit done.
It certainly does. It most certainly does. I know your routine even.
I mean, if we're talking about our lives, me, Shindo, the mixer, I had a really good check-in with my parole officer today, and he said as long as I stay away from the middle schools, I should be able to get off parole at some point and rejoin society. So
good.
Well, that's good.
Progress. Progress.
You're another step towards getting to Canada, because you're never gonna make it there with that parole going on.
You don't want to go back to prison.
I know. And then I got arrested in the meat department again for pleasuring myself by all the cuts of beef, which is going to look weird on my record when I'm applying to Canada for dual citizenship as Shindo. So,
dude, you're supposed to put them in your mouth hole, not your butthole. Get it? It's like we told you that 1,000 times, dude.
But on the bright side, all of my used car scams with unreported income to the IRS are going well and are super lucrative. So
you haven't reported all that money yet?
No, me Shindo, I've not reported all of that illegal money. So
no, he doesn't have to. He's gonna be Canadian.
Just because it's coming from another country doesn't make it not. It's still income.
Ask me about my Ponzi scheme.
Dude,
now are you selling these vehicles? Where do I get in? Will you sell me this at a 5? Will you sell this to me at 95% so I can sell it at 100%?
No, he's got a better deal, dude. He doesn't charge tax.
Yeah, I mean, tax is for losers. We all know that, right?
I don't know, dude. I think you're gonna get in trouble.
Tax is how they get you. So I just don't pay.
That's how they got Al Capone.
You got a golden opportunity to turn this into an inverse triangle of a not pyramid scheme. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like
it's a reverse funnel system, and I sell miracle berries. Don't worry about it.
You know, you tell me, only the guy at the top.
It's the way our education system works at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Which it's so you can talk so much shit because you come from Michigan, and that DeVos name is fucking all over everything, and it's all just fucking Amway money. It's like Amway blood money.
Yeah.
And he knows.
Yeah. No, I lived in Grand Rapids for a long time, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go to the Van Andel Arena, which is actually part of the Amway family. They're related. Or you go to the Amway building, and it's the Amway fucking hospital. I mean, it's all the DeVos hospital, but it's like, Jesus. Everything has DeVos and Van Andel on it.
Why is it so corrupt?
We live in a hell world.
GM left, so we got some good. I mean, they saw a business opportunity and they took it. So good on them. But their business opportunity was when, oh yeah, our entire state went fucking jobless. Was, hey, you can sell bullshit to your friends who don't have jobs, and it'll be your job. And everyone did it.
All kinds of soap bullshit.
Well, it's funny, the whole multi-level marketing thing or whatever. It's funny because it preys on this weird perversion of the American dream where everybody's going to own their own business and everybody's going to be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. It's so insidious, I guess, in the way that it just plays to everybody's cultural expectations perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree, Kat. Yeah. I definitely agree.
It always starts out that same pitch. Is I know it's not like Amway, or it's not like this. They always have a different take on it, but they're going to continuously try to make that happen. And you don't think it's stupid once you get involved with it.
Well, I think it's because you're invested in it at that point,
right?
You guys
just sunk $1,000 of your last remaining bank account into it, so it better fucking
right.
I mean, not everybody that's the thing. That's the dark side of telling everybody that they can be a millionaire and this cult of entrepreneurship. And I'm not saying entrepreneurship is a bad thing, but what I'm saying is the goal of entrepreneurship for entrepreneurship's sake. You tell people, oh yeah, you'll own your own business and control your own destiny and stuff, and that just preys on people's expectations.
For sure.
Sorry, I apparently went off about Betsy DeVos.
No, it's just the fact that you actually make you make cogent points to where there's not a whole lot to add to it. Unfortunately, you're the truth sayer of the group.
I'm just the angry one at this point, so
Yeah.
that works.
Well, like I honestly, like I had to take a long break from, because normally I listen to, when I get up in the morning and I listen to NPR while I get the kid ready, and like I had to take a break from it for a while just because of the news was so completely ridiculous every day. Like listening, I was just like, I can't do this. Like I can't subject myself to this. I finally went back to it like last week, and I've been listening,
Now
and
it's still
I
all
remember,
crazy. Now it's
yeah, and
crazier.
I remember why I left, like just listening to the whole like Manafort and like everything going on with.
Oh, now what's his name's also pleading guilty again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just and
It's a witch hunt.
yeah, and everybody's like, yeah, and people aren't willing to be like, hey, maybe something's fucked up here. Like if all this stuff's going on, no, we just
Yeah,
completely ignore that.
I know. Like that's what that's my problem with it is like I do want to see, like I want to believe in a justice system and I want truth, but at the same time, if it if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it quacks like a shits like a duck, fucking duck.
Right.
Probably Donald Trump.
It's a Donald. I'll say that.
I'm just saying, well played 2018. You got me rooting for the goddamn FBI.
Right. Yeah.
The fuck is that all about?
Right.
Well, okay, you got talking to Voss, so I'm not gonna
But
wake up tomorrow.
But even with, regardless of how it comes out, which I mean, I think we all have a pretty good idea. The majority, like, there's a whole lot of people that aren't going to believe it, regardless of whatever the findings are.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever happens, people are like, all you're going to hear is fake news, and this is
We have
slanted.
a Republican president
on
who
it.
Fox News gets in trouble with.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Right.
But it's still going to be washed over because they're also going to wash it over.
Right.
It's all horse shit. All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the most dangerous opinion to have, though. Like, at a certain point, like, I get that everything is fucking ridiculous and you're talking about burning to death or freezing to death, but at a certain point, it's like, you can't let everything just beat you into apathy, I guess, because, like, I don't mean to sound conspiratorial, but that's what the people who have the fucking power want, is they want you unengaged and they want you scared.
Hey man, I vote every time. I'm still gonna vote every time.
Oh,
Yeah,
mhm.
And I'm gonna look it up every time.
Bullshit, when I say it's all bullshit, I think they're all in it out together. You know what I mean? I think
Oh,
it's
they
all
are,
just smoke
but that's
every different direction. I don't think one side's right and the other side's wrong.
no, like
I think
they all are.
one side's right about
doing
half
that.
of it, and the other side's half. It's just I think they're all in it together to.
Okay, but if one side's
two-party system.
51%, if one side's 51% right and the other side is 49% right, you go with the one who's 51% right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but who's to say
because
which one?
shit actually matters.
Right.
But who's to say which one it is? You know what I mean? Like
The
who's to say
the
which one
ones
it
who
is?
aren't sheltering the dude who was like giving Julian Assange a hand job to get him to release info on their political opponent, like, that's the side that's more right in this situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're not going to get the 49% to agree with that, though.
Well, fuck the 49% then. Like, I am so tired of like trying to equivocate and just think that, like, okay, well, your completely delusional view of the way things are is somehow valid, even though it doesn't have anything to do with actual facts. Like,
But that side believes the exact opposite of you. They believe that you're just as delusional as they are. You know what I mean? So there's no moving.
okay, but
because they honestly think the same thing. They think you are delusional.
okay, but not everybody can be wrong, though. Like, that's the thing. At a certain point, somebody calling me wrong, like, I get that that's what they're saying, but, you know, you kind of have to go back to even the epistemological basis of the idea of truth. Like, just because people say that shit isn't right doesn't mean that it isn't right, and we have to use at least some sort of filter to try to, like, establish that.
But what are you budging on? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not budging the same way they're not going to budge.
I'm not
budging.
I'm not budging on basic facts at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that people have opinions. That's cool. I'm not saying that people can't have opinions, but I also don't give a shit because it's more important to talk to the people who aren't voting, who are disenfranchised, than trying to win over this mythical unicorn conservative voter that's finally appalled by Donald Trump.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm just saying that it's really, really, really hard. It's a really tough spot to be in as basically as a country right now because nobody's gonna budge, dude. Like they think that what they're looking at is facts. They definitely think each side thinks that what they're looking at is facts the same way that you do. They don't think that they're wrong and they're just not budging just for the fact of not budging. They think they're right.
Right.
I mean, I'll talk about policy all day long. Like policy is always up for debate. That's fine. But when you get to like foundational truths and Donald Trump up there saying, well, what you see and what you hear isn't what's happening. Listen to me. Like you can talk about policy, you can talk about solutions, but the general like reality of the thing isn't up for debate.
But it is though, is what I'm saying. Like it is. That's the problem. They're the people that believe what he's saying believe what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
and just because they believe it doesn't make it true though.
But it doesn't make it's not like but then there's other things that like your side's not going to budge on, and then there's other things that side's not going to budge on. And
I will always budge to fact.
Yeah, I will too.
To actual
I 100%
demonstrable, provable fact. The problem is there are people now that will not budge to actual fact. They will only go with whatever side they've fallen into, or whatever side they've decided to go with. And it doesn't matter if something is proven demonstrably false. They will ignore that or they will explain it away versus being willing to say that they were wrong about something and re-examine the people. It seems that more people nowadays are less willing to examine it. You talked about this like a month ago before about like the unexamined life, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people now that don't want to actually have to sit down and examine and research and study anything and actually form their own opinions on stuff. They take they whatever side they choose, that's what they go with, and it doesn't matter whatever else is going on with that. And that's a dangerous place to be in.
Yeah.
Either way, either side, the far left and the far right. Now, obviously, the far right is doing a lot worse stuff with that, but it's still having the blinders on, having such a closed mindset that's not the way to live. That's not American.
But I don't think that. But my point in the whole thing is, I don't think those people are thinking. They're not thinking like, I'm just wrong and I'm not going to give in and I don't care. And I do. They believe that those things are facts and that they're doing the right thing as much as each side believes that. I don't think people are generally bad, you know what I mean, or just trying to shove things aside and not believe it. I think they actually believe it, and I think if they did believe the other way, they would go the other way. I think that they think that they're the kind of people that, but they just happen to believe something different. You know what I'm saying? And that's dangerous as fuck because I don't know where it's coming from.
Well, I can tell you where it's coming from, and like I don't mean to like sound like that guy or whatever, but you have a entire political party that's rallied around a guy whose entire strategy for getting through whatever like shady shit he pulled was making people like question the entire like nature of truth.
Yep.
And that's what, but what I'm saying is that's what you believe. There's nothing that's going to make you not believe that. Now, somebody else can come along and say, that's not what it is, and this and this is the reason why I'm following him. And you're still not going to believe it. So what I'm saying is there's people that are on both sides that are exactly like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if someone came and said, like, if you were surrounded by a bunch of Donald Trump supporters and they gave you 15, 25 reasons why that's what you just said is not what they believe, you're not going to change it. You're just not going to change it. You're just not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it happens on both ends, nothing happens anywhere. And there's just as many people that are believing what you believe on the other side as you believe on that side, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, and I'll totally cop to the fact that like the one thing this political climate has done is made me extremely calcified in my beliefs, just because like
to an extent I'm a little bit better, but yeah, it's harder now because it's more apparent that two sides are calcified now, and that makes me want to rebel against that even harder in ways.
I just like the entire thing is I have my values, and I get that my values are my values and they inform my opinions on things. and I don't expect everybody to go along with my values. I realize that my values are probably a little bit out of the mainstream.
But you want people to have an agreeable sense of what a fact is.
Yeah,
because
like,
I do get that. Like I had to. It took until that guy probably 2 months ago started trying to bomb liberal Congress members and like sending mail bombs, because it took until then, because my mother is a postal worker, for my dad to finally admit that there are bad actors on both sides. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
no, there's
Yeah,
bad actors on both sides. Like that can be a common fact, but for some reason that is impossible for someone to accept.
I mean, we're over here playing checkers in terms of like the political discourse in this country, when like the world is slowly cooking to death. Like, there's very, very big foundational issues that are going to affect the entire way that human beings live on this planet that we can't address because some people have tied like fossil fuel use into like their entire like dogmatic view of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the part that really gets me, because I get it. I get that I'm a socialist. I get everybody thinks that I'm a fucking like useless communist, and that's fine. Like that doesn't bother me so much. It's just not, it's just like we can't address like real like scientifically proven issues because we're busy arguing about whether or not the sky is blue.
Well, it's not actually blue.
You go fuck yourself, Koppel. Fucking strolling here at the end of my goddamn impassioned rant about the scientific method, and you just like twirl your mustache like a goddamn railroad tying Old West villain and just undermine me entirely.
See, yeah. That was
It's
my
not good
point.
timing, is what you're saying. I arrived exactly when I should.
Apparently, somebody needs to fucking cut me off at the knees.
A wizard is never late.
So you're right, dude.
Welcome,
You're
Koppel.
definitely right. I just think that I think they know that both sides know it, and they got us right where they want us. And they're just gonna play it against each other forever.
I don't know about forever.
Not forever, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's
Well, I mean, because there is interesting things if you do take the current climate, like compare the current climate to what I at least know of in history shown me of like Watergate and things like that. Like if you have someone in a lot of scandals, then it's going to take Watergate took 2.5 years. And like, I'm pretty sure everything I know of the country was kind of hell and split during that time. So like, until something's kind of resolved, I expect everything to get more calcified until eventually one side of issue is going to be ruled a winner, so to say. Does that make sense?
yeah.
I mean, the whole issue is like, say Donald Trump, say that it's found that he did all sorts of things that he shouldn't have done and is censured or removed from office. That's only going to strengthen the position of a certain portion of the right that says, see, it was all rigged against him from the beginning and all of this stuff is corrupt and crooked.
I think it will for a while. I don't think it will.
I mean, because like back during
we're at a
Watergate,
point where
people still had some trust and faith in the government and believed in the process, and now I don't think people do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fair. How much stuff do you see about false flags and chemtrails and Q and like all of it? Like there is a significant portion of the population that really is big into this whole like the idea of the deep state and a ruling elite cabal behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
I guess what I'm also curious too, though, is like if it's actually is a larger amount now compared to then, or
that's a good point.
And I don't know, obviously.
You think like in people's little villages or whatever, there was always the same amount like per.
Possibly, because there's. I mean, go back as long as time. There's always been crazies.
But I think
everyone's always had their own opinion.
I think there's more now because of the internet, because these ideas can be shared to where
Right.
people that previously wouldn't have bought into it now are like, oh, this is the thing. Like, this
And
is the whole thing.
Any group of shitheads can get their own show and just put it on and start talking about it, and other people can watch it.
Yeah.
Right?
Fuck you being meta, you motherfucker.
No gatekeepers.
group
To
of
the internet,
assholes.
it's great. But yeah, no, like it's I don't know. I'm definitely like from a viewer standpoint, I'm definitely interested in the next like 5 to 10 years in seeing, I guess, parallels to other times in history that there has been such strife, and it heals or not. 'Cause usually, it either A does heal, which I'm kind of expecting it to, or we're just gonna have the French Revolution.
Well, yeah,
I'm buying stock in Big Guillotine right now.
yeah. It has to. It'll correct itself. It has to, or else we're gonna go to war. And nobody wants to go to war with each other.
Nobody's gonna go to war. Like everybody's
That's
like
what happens, dude. People
talking about Civil War shit. Like the Civil War wasn't because like it wasn't because like
because the country
two people
disagreed.
had political disagreements. It was because like there was an entire alternative economy basically getting built up in the South, and they didn't want to give that up.
No matter what it was two sides disagreed and couldn't find fucking equal ground. Is what happened. No matter what it was about.
Okay, but this
dichotomy.
This dichotomy about like, oh, there's like the liberals and the conservatives or whatever, like they just had a fucking election in Alabama where the Democratic Senate candidate got 44% of the vote. Like You're not talking about like a nice even split. Like it doesn't work like that.
It's also Alabama.
Yeah, but I'm saying
that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good showing for Alabama, to be honest.
I thought it was Mississippi.
Yeah, that's a big showing for Alabama. Huge difference.
I mean, even 40% of those people, like the vote in 2016 for Clinton was still 40%. So 40% of those people like even supported Hillary Clinton in Alabama. Like it's not this big like us versus them divide where you can like start talking about splitting things up and shit. Like it's to a person it's mixed up. It isn't big monolithic blocks.
But a civil war doesn't have to be exactly the way the last civil war was in this country. It could be plenty of different ways, and you know what I'm saying, and reasons and all kinds of shit. Like it doesn't have to lead.
I think we're too apathetic to to do that nowadays.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think we're also like we're slightly more aware of like what the Civil War was. I would hope that like natural survival instinct be like that was a dumb idea.
Right, and that's what I said. I said it's gonna correct itself, or it goes into something like that, which I think it will correct itself, and it usually does correct itself. Most of the time, doesn't get into that area.
I just don't think we're gonna see a correction during this administration. To be honest, with you.
No,
we're halfway through it.
No, if we see a correction, it's gonna span over 5 to 10 years.
Impeachment is pretty unlikely. Right. I think re-election is still even on the table, right? Like there's still going to be like a gradual. I don't think it's
possible.
I don't think it has a strong position on the table, but it's there.
No, it's there because if you go back, the biggest trend towards if a president will get reelected is over like the last 20 years or so, and this year's midterms was kind of pretty split.
Yeah, it's pretty 50-50, and I don't really feel like I don't even necessarily know that as much as I am not a Trump supporter, I'm not necessarily certain I even want to see like the country try to go through an impeachment process in the last 2 years of an administration because of the divide that it causes, like pre-election season. It's gonna it gives them too much fuel, right, for the argument that it was rigged against him in the first place, just like Pretty Matthew pointed out earlier. Like it gives them way too much. I think we're going to see a lot more of Mueller's, indictments come towards his underlings and his minions and his little shitheads.
I think that, but can I be okay? Being completely honest, sure, Trump. I'm not a Trump fan, obviously. With his lawyer pleading guilty, Cohen pleading guilty for the second time. Do you want to know the real person I just want to burn? It's not Trump. it's Cohen's other representee. Just fucking screw Hannity.
Fucking Sean Hannity.
Just
yeah.
fucking let him burn, please.
Well,
Just real quick. Can I give a shout out to Classic Menthol? Just FYI, this is the GOAT jewel flavor.
It is.
This replaces Cool Mint. Just so everybody's aware. Okay.
Have you
that stuff is fucking good.
Have you tried the Soul at all? It's another one of like the disposable pod systems. I was super impressed by their spearmint of all things.
Okay. I did a couple different ones that are the Miley. I really like the Miley a lot, and I really like the there was another one. I got the Quit Stick, and I enjoyed that one quite a bit. But like the Jewel is so convenient because you can buy the fucking pods wherever you're at. You can just run into the 7-Eleven and get a pack of Classic Menthol.
Depending on where you are too, you can get salt now too, which I find interesting. Because like I mean, I think I've said this multiple times on the show, but like last time I went to a gas station in probably spring, I asked if they had e-liquid, and the guy's like, "Oh, you mean salt for Soren Air?" And it's just like, no, but sure, yes. I guess. Okay, take that over anything else, you know.
Over a Soul Mystery flavor? Not me. You had the Soul Mystery flavor yet, Rick?
No. How is it?
It's actually pretty good. They're actually pretty solid. The Soul.
All of the salts were good except the mango.
Yeah, the mango was surprisingly trash. The tobacco tastes a lot like a whole bunch of Flabora Connecticut shade.
Ooh, but that's good.
Did you talk to that guy at the show?
I didn't really talk to him. I just took a bunch of his free shit. I have like 2 more packaged souls sitting right here too.
Yeah,
I think I'm down to like 2 tobacco pods, I think, and then mango, but I'm not going to vape that mango because it's fucking trash.
Try the mystery flavor. It's surprisingly good.
I didn't get a mystery flavor one. I just got 2 tobaccos.
And like, I really like mango, so it's always disappointing when it's a poorly done mango.
I'm pretty sure it's just like 30% TPA Philippine mango.
Oh.
Philippine mango is not a bad flavor when used properly because it has like that like green. It has like that green like close to the rind part.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of musky and sour, you know. Just I mean, because it gets that way when you crank it up too high.
Yeah,
and I get the reasoning for cranking it up too high in the pod system, but I really feel like a different mango would go better.
Yeah, well, my pod mango that I make is like 12% Philippine mango and like 8% sweet mango and like a little bit of sweetener and a little bit of sour, and then I'm good with that.
Right. See, and I'm all chill with that. Like,
have you tried the Flabora yet?
No.
Get the
you got to get on that Flabora mango, man.
If you're a mango fan, like that's one of the flavors we've definitely.
I have like 4 ounces of it, dude. I'll legit ship you some. You need it.
Like Flabora mango is like, if you want a wet mango.
I've heard it's the gold. I've heard Flavor's the FLV mango is the gold standard of mangoes at this point.
And despite what Dave says, Aware mango is pretty good.
Try Delosi mango.
Vape Train Shisha mango is still kind of a banger too. It's a little green, but different. It's good.
I like the greenness of Vape Train mango though. It brings a little more. I don't know. It's a little more authentic to me.
It tastes like green mango though.
It tastes like an authentic Philippine mango.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to jump again. I don't think I'm gonna join back in on the next one because it's almost 10:30.
Okay, that is fair.
That's smart. Let's wrap it. Let's wrap it after Koppel shows up, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I apologize.
You're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out on my airplane story with the vaping.
Yeah, no, I gotta go.
I'm sad about that.
Okay, I'll get back for that story and then
okay.
One more round.
Yeah, sorry, we're currently having to Zoom hop because we don't have Colt's Zoom because he's at his wife's birthday party or something.
Because we're the most professional show on YouTube. That's why.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right then. Well, I mean, I trust your guys' whatever.
Yeah, I'll just send you a new link.
I've got like 40 minutes.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming on.
We have.
Yeah, man.
No, that's how much time we have.
So you got that. You got that rage in today, right? You were talking about.
Buddy. Right here. It's kind of ugly. It's uglier purple than I thought it would be.
That color's amazing, though, man.
But it's not bad, man. But it's pretty fucking stellar, dude. It took me a few minutes to figure it out, but now that I got it all working.
The way you hold it, you mean?
No,
nice.
mostly just about how I was going to put it in your mom.
In my mom, dude, have you seen my mom?
Zing.
If you saw my mom, I mean, it's kind of like not a burn on me. You know what I mean? Like, it's, like if you want to put things in my mom, go ahead. And I don't. Things will be coming out of her. I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
Well, maybe I'll find
Choices
another
like
mod.
Well, you probably will, because she keeps losing them. The stick ones, fucking mech mods, switches and all, batteries.
It's so
All
weird.
kinds of
Loose
shit.
batteries, probably some spare change and a fire, like a
She,
dumpster
like,
fire.
Takes them like unwrapped, puts them together, puts them in her ass. It's weird, dude. It's
Unwrapped?
Totally fucking weird. Yeah, you so like touch. on the
What
Throw
inside.
some
have I
pennies in there
started?
too,
What
or
have I
what?
done?
It's so weird.
Oh, the skin's a bad.
No,
the
you
skin's
okay.
actually a bad conductor, so she's probably
She wants
safe,
them to
dude.
vent
Unless
and
she threw some change up there too, she's good.
No, she puts two in the same hole, dude. You know
Just
what I mean?
spare car keys to bridge it.
Like, yeah, and some coins, like a roll of coins, some copper.
Well, the thing about rolls of coins is they come with the cardboard applicator tube just built.
Right.
Look at Alicia's face. You did it.
She's like,
You got her.
Vince. She's always screaming to Vince. I don't know what she wants to happen there, but
So bad.
she's like, Vince.
I'm just trying to teach Koppel the art of linger longering.
Can't linger longer me on this. She's the one. She's in there venting.
I was just gonna let him ride this out. It's fine. I made my obligatory your mom joke, and wherever Graham wants to take it, that's cool.
I'm just saying.
So
I don't know.
so what would roughly be the value of coin that would fit?
Like $863.22
In pennies?
Yeah, in her ass.
Damn.
Like the value
How
of a
large is this
Midwest
lady?
family change jar that they've had saving up for a vacation. All of
I
that.
walked in. She was sitting on a coin master one time,
Dude,
just shooting them out of her ass.
I have
happened.
a family member basically who has one of.
Yeah,
Except
the
it- no,
Midwest
it's-
coin jar.
It's
Yeah.
the Midwest coin jar, but it's not for family vacation. It's just gambling money. Oh! Well, they didn't hear that joke, but you guys heard the joke. Hopefully, it was not that terrible. But we're gonna start Zoom up again. We're gonna try to do this good. Hey, you can see me again. Hopefully, I'm gonna re-invite everybody. Hopefully, do that. Apple that. Bam, bam. I think everyone's got one, so hopefully everyone will keep joining in. Here we go.
You bet your ass I'm coming.
I know you're
Back it
coming
up.
back. There we
Nice
go.
teaser. Nice cliffhanger.
I mean, the audience heard it. You guys didn't. Oh.
What was it?
Shit,
What was
I
it
want to
for?
hear it.
Oh no, it's basically the cliffhanger wasn't it's not for family vacations. It's just a gambling jar. He just keeps one of those. It's seriously like a 3-gallon.
That was the
plastic
worst
jug.
payoff from a build-up ever.
Yeah, it's so
I
bad,
didn't
man.
mean it to be a payoff or a build-up. So
Oh.
That's what he does,
That's your Michigan story for the half hour.
Yeah.
yeah, fuck off.
We're punishing you. Okay,
It's just-
Alicia,
it's
tell
just
us the
for
story.
fun
so we-
gambling.
I want to hear. Yeah, I want to hear Alicia's story, so then I can go watch Man in the High Castle.
Great show.
I mean, it's not like hilarious or anything, but it was a very
You
aggravating
promised.
ride. Yeah. Well, I wasn't the one vaping. It was the flight attendant. They were vaping on a cloud chucker like this thing and like blowing it at the
Babylon
ground,
twist.
trying to have it dissipate. And the dude, the entire time, he kept like hiding back because he's in the bulkhead area, like
Mhm.
and there's a screen there.
Mhm.
He kept trying to like hide in the corner and like kept putting his hands to his nose, and then he's sniffing like every 20 seconds or less. Like he was clearly doing some blow and then just vaping. Like that dude was partying and would not shut the fuck up.
Heavy
Worst
ride.
flight attendant ever.
Or
Was
best.
he running up the aisles with his hand in
Yeah,
front of him?
that
pushing
actually
fucking
sounds
nose?
like the best flight attendant ever. You
You
probably,
probably could have milked that guy for like 100
Oh.
free drinks.
yeah.
But
Easily.
it was a red
Dude,
eye,
that's your ass.
and I was trying to sleep,
Oh. Okay.
and he wouldn't shut up. Like he
Oh,
started
that's
telling
that's
me this-
why. It's because it's a red eye.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, while he's clearly high, he's just like sitting there talking ridiculously fast to this other flight attendant, telling her this horrible story about some Indian pilots that like were trying to communicate with the tower, and like there was like an issue with figuring out the numbers or something on the flight.
Why
he
would
just
you tell
kept-
us the horrible story?
I wasn't telling you the horrible story so much as
Oh.
what the person was like saying in an Indian accent, but they just kept
Oh, okay.
repeating Indian accent over and over and over again, like super
Like
loudly.
making fun?
Yeah, like horribly, like really badly,
Like,
like
thank you,
just a
come again.
but
Like,
it was a bad Indian accent too, like all around terrible like storytelling from this dude. And I'm just like, dude, just shut up. Like I finally say something and then he like acts like nothing happened and just keeps going, keeps finishing his story in this horrible accent.
What'd you say?
I just said fuck it and went and put my noise canceling headphones back on.
Yeah, I would have put
What'd you say to him,
headphones
though?
in and just get a.
Well, in the end, we got a good chunk of our flight tickets back
I knew it.
because
I knew
filed a
that.
complaint.
Yeah.
What airline?
JetBlue. And you wouldn't expect that
Really?
from them. And it wasn't
No.
even the dude that was doing this. He wasn't even like just like a regular flight attendant. He was like the crew cabin manager person, I guess. Like he
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
way
head
up there.
attendant.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really good.
which is so like I feel kind of bad that he got grounded though.
Oh, he got grounded?
Yeah, he got
That's what
grounded.
they call it? That's fucking real embarrassing. We call
Yeah.
it getting grounded.
Because he can't fly.
Yeah, you're grounded.
Yeah.
Like he's 8.
Well,
Vaping.
I mean, honestly though, like that would be a cool gig. Be a flight attendant at
Mhm.
times.
To
Yeah,
be
but-
doing cocaine in the sky. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
If-
and like vaping and
Yes.
just being like, "You want booze? You want booze? I want booze. Let's do
Your ass would
this."
hurt all the time, though.
it'd be great though if the dude had like a soothing voice. Since he
Okay.
wouldn't shut up, but it was like this really nasally voice, and he
He
was
doesn't know that.
throwing the gay voice around quite a bit. So like I think that he was, or he
Yeah.
had a really feminine voice.
Of
Like, he was
course.
pulling that lisp
He
real
was.
hard, just like the
Yeah.
nasally lisp. Not great. Not great.
I don't think I've ever seen a straight man flight attendant.
I had one once. He was awesome.
Yeah?
I've had him many times.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think I have.
I there's a lot of that I've seen on like Virgin America and stuff. A lot of straight
Yeah.
men on that flight.
On Virgin.
I'm not making a judgment.
Yeah. You caught on.
Oh, I don't know why that's so funny, but that was funny. All right, I'm out of here.
Nice.
All right, have a good one, bud.
Later.
So, what do you think's gonna happen with 6ix9ine, dude?
We already
I'll
covered
bring it all the way
this.
back. I'm just saying, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen? No one told me. what
He's
their
gonna
opinion
die
was. They
in
just told me he's an
jail.
asshole. You think he's gonna get killed?
He's
Oh,
gonna get his ass beat, not for having unicorn hair, but for just being a goddamn punk.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was gonna get like about 3 weeks ago. I told David, I said this guy's gonna get killed in the next couple weeks or the next few months. Like it just felt like something was coming to a head. But I guess apparently him and the other guy, Ma Murder or whatever the other guy's name is, not Shoddy, but the other guy, they actually
I can
had
never
a hit
take
plan on
anyone
him in
serious
Vegas.
who's named Body.
Shoddy's like the man. He is Treyway. His name is Treyway, apparently.
Treyway 2. Can't take that serious. I cannot.
Do you
It's
have a
crazy,
chart
dude.
to keep all this stuff straight? I'd
No,
like to
it's-
see
you know what it
a
is?
drawn MS Paint
You know,
chart.
It's like,
You know
hey,
what it
dude,
is?
my name's Shoddy. It's like your
Well, no,
shorty. I got my 40.
There's like 3 hip hop reporter guys, right? I don't know how they ended up on my because I didn't give a fuck about this at all. I mean, you
And
saw
yet
the
now
last
you
hip-hop
know everything.
conversations. It's because it keeps showing up because I watched like 2 of them and now it's like every fucking report that ever happened is all over the front page and there's a lot of it. I'm trying to keep up. It's like because my mom's in there fucking with batteries and I have to have something else to do. So I'm following.
So
Treyway.
your mom's the Shoddy. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yes, she's a shorty. I think that's.
Well,
what
next time we pick you up in the dispensary parking lot, you should make sure to pick her up, bring her along with you.
Hey, you know when you guys picked me up, it was 5 minutes before I realized that was Shindo. Like no bullshit. No bullshit.
Because it was dark, man. You know, he doesn't like go into the light.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
And he didn't come over to me. He went and got in the car, and then I got in the car, and it literally was like 5 minutes. I was like, oh, that's Shindo. Like no bullshit either. Like Rick, I recognized right away.
Yeah, you just thought
no,
we picked up the strangest prostitute ever.
I
didn't know
recognized
what-
Rick before he was
thought
even
at
out of the
first, like,
car.
We were sitting there and we're like, there's a weird car pulling in next to us. And then as soon as you like dropped like 50 things in the parking lot, as you like stumbled out the door
Uh-huh.
in like a fucking stupor, we were like, oh, that's probably Graham.
Yeah. I was
As you're
finally
like
sober.
picking up pennies off the fucking pavement.
No, it was I dropped my mod.
He would pick up
Yeah,
pennies.
I mean, No, well, no.
Somebody's got to feed that hungry beast.
I'm telling you, I need to bring the copper home to my mom so she can conduct in her asshole.
It looks like the fucking Sarlacc down to the teeth.
Yeah, but I don't have teeth.
That's all right, buddy. Me neither.
I actually do. I just don't ever show them.
No, that's.
I don't like them.
I was happy. Okay, Rick, I'm really happy you drove down because when I was like sitting there trying to figure out which apartment it was, like it was just like look, just kind of finally was like, okay, I'm gonna stand in the street and just vape for a second, and all of a sudden I just see, oh, yep, giant mustache, Hawaiian shirt, lovable face. There's Rick. Okay, just
Yeah,
like I can see
yeah,
you driving like instantly.
Yeah, like that's the problem. I'm super recognizable. Like I can't do any crimes or anything because you'd see like the grainy like convenience store footage or whatever of me holding somebody up, and then like a dozen people be like, "Oh no, that's Rick." Fuck.
He'd be like 6'9" in the fucking video they got of him. He's got tattoos on his face, his rainbow hair popping out, and he's robbing a bank or something. Seriously. And they got surveillance footage of him. That's how obvious you are. Okay, let's be honest with each other here. Who was everybody? Did everybody look like they thought they were going to look like to each other?
Yeah, I mean,
pretty
except for Shindo, because he was actually in light, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd never seen him in light. Like I'd only seen his eyes surrounded by darkness on the camera, right? Or just his name on a black screen.
Monitor tan.
That's part of it. But I don't know.
And I'm pretty sure his picture is from like the late '90s on his Facebook profile.
Oh, easily. Out of everybody, like, okay, folk art didn't look like folk art to me until he started talking, and he really looked like him.
The only one that caught me off guard was DVR, and I think it would have been fine.
It was
If
because
he just been in
DVR
a fucking
just
t-shirt,
yeah, it was
and
because
not-
DVR showed up with like
not
the
in a
full
3-piece
10
suit.
Yeah, the full 10 yards or whatever.
His Lou Diamond.
Like DVR showed up looking like his daughter was going to be married.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Dude, for real, it's like they were dressed to the nines.
No,
I was
like,
like,
it
what
was-
is even happening?
No, but it was good
Yeah.
too because like he had the little give back. Like he was professional as fuck.
Yeah.
But
I'm
at the
sitting
same
there
time, it
in
was
like
also
cut
like
off
you've never.
camouflage shorts from
Yeah. Well, it was
from
one of
like
those.
my first deployment and like a giant mess and like big bags under my eyes because I drank too much whiskey the night before.
Well, no, it was one of those like, okay, he showed up professional as shit. Hell yeah, props to him.
Yeah.
But he showed
if
up
you're the dad
professional
on
as
Footloose-
shit to a vape convention. And it was like, you've never been to this, have you? 'Cause
Oh,
no
he was
one
ready to
looks
go,
good
man.
at these.
He was ready
It's
to
like-
go though.
It's
And you
like
look good.
wearing a ska suit to your prom. You're going to stick out.
Yeah.
You're
Are you
definitely
alright?
going to stick out. No, I'm not. I think I just died a little bit there.
If you're
Um,
going to make sure you get it on camera.
And I didn't
Yeah.
expect Bryson to be like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me neither. Me
Yeah, no,
neither.
Bryson's really fucking tall.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Like, Bryson's taller than Rick, I think. Or as tall.
Yeah, easily that's tall. Yeah. Rick, just you seem you don't seem like you seem well proportioned, I should say. You
Dude, that's
pretty much
only
look
be,
exactly like what I thought you would.
that's only because I wear long shirts. Like I'm
You
like
did seem
six,
taller.
I'm
You
like
sound different. I'll say that.
yeah, I'm like 6'3", but I have a 32-inch inseam on a good day, so I'm shaped like a goddamn gorilla. It's weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
that
pretty
wasn't the
good,
part that threw me off with you. Like you sounded different. Like your mannerisms are different in person than they are on video or on live. I'm not in a bad or a good way.
You're a
They're
little
just
bit
different.
nicer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not as rough.
Well, you guys weren't stuck in a car with him for 16 hours.
I thought
Yeah.
about that, dude. I thought about it. I was like, wow, I wonder what that was like. And I was
We
Uh,
we
and
ate
then I
a
saw-
I
Taco
just was
Bell.
hoping I'd throw everyone off by the fact that I wear glasses. So that was my
We
party
ate
trick.
at the most glorious Taco Bell, I think, maybe in existence.
It was the best Taco Bell food I've ever had, and that's weird.
well,
it was
Taco
in
Bell's good if you eat it there.
It was in
like,
Boise, Idaho, and it was delicious, and it was like a truck stop.
and it was like,
eat it there?
and it was like double portions.
Because they were like, fuck, no one else is coming through here.
Yeah, the portions were huge. It was enormous. I was like, what the fuck? I spent like $6 and I got like 3 pounds of fucking Taco Bell.
There's nothing better than 3 pounds of Taco Bell. Especially
Well,
if it's fresh.
I
If
think
it's fresh.
an hour after we got onto the car ride, Rick might have disagreed that there's nothing better than 3 pounds of
Oh, did you get sick? You started
No,
sick, I
no,
got
no.
sick.
But there's no way to eat 3 pounds of Taco Bell and not have gas. Like, it's
Oh
pretty
God, no!
impossible.
In the car all the way, 16 hours of brick gas. Oh Jesus Christ! Oof.
No, it wasn't that bad. Other than our casualty in the parking lot.
What happened?
Well, so we were getting out of the car, or getting into the car, and I had a bottle of juice sitting in like the door frame or whatever, and it like rolled out in under the car next to me.
Oh, nice.
And it was like the only juice I had made with me, and I was like, no fucking way, this is impossible. This can't be right now, right? And it's like it rolled literally into the dead center. Right, so I'm like walking around the car, like trying to figure out how I'm gonna like unfuck this situation and get my goddamn juice so that we can drive. And then I finally, like after like 3 minutes of like trying to fuck with it or trying to fucking reach it, I was like, okay, well I'm not gonna lay down because it's like fucking 12 degrees out here. So fuck it, I guess we'll just roll out of here. And then we were leaving, and we saw them go get in their car.
Oh, okay.
So we like pulled around so that they would pull away, and then I could get my shit right. And then they just sat there looking at us for like 5 minutes, and then we were like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna call the cops now.
Yeah,
let's just go.
Yeah, we're getting arrested. We don't look like two people that you want hanging around your car, especially when we're all zoned out from the road.
Yeah, just go to the window. Just go, it's cold out here. It's cold out here, and jiggle their door handle. They'll get the fuck out of there real quick.
I mean, why don't you just tell them, like, hey, I had something roll under your car. Can you back up?
Because we're all socially inept. You don't get that?
We don't like talking to strangers.
So that might be an easy solution if I didn't already look like a homicidal maniac, generally speaking, right? Like, so my beard is like probably like this, right? Like
they would have maced him
and just like
immediately for sure.
Exhausted. I got big bags under my eyes. My clothes are dirty. I smell like 3 days of Las Vegas and shame. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I was just, if I had knocked on my door, I would have either been shot on site or they would have just instantly called the police. Like, it's not as easy for a dude to just randomly roll up on somebody in the parking lot, right?
Yeah, it's cold out here.
Like, I'm not saying it even vaguely compares to the shit that women go through, because like I'm willing to cede like right now that is a so much higher bar. But like one of the things about being a big weird looking dude is you just get used to the fact that you can't have casual conversations with people without them thinking like you're trying to murder them. It's weird.
Yeah, if these two walked up to me in a parking lot, I'd shoot them both on the spot. Like, no question about it. Like, I wouldn't even question the fact that they weren't trying to harm me.
Well, what about the expression on their face? Because I mean, that's important. If they're giving a very non-threatening, like, "Hey, like, hi,"
think about Graham would do that. Think about these.
I want you to like take a snapshot of your face in the mirror, like that face, and then I want you to picture Rick making that expression, and see if you
like, hi.
You think he escaped from a mental fucking hospital?
He's making the expression right now. See that's Rick's friendly expression right there.
It's not good. It's not good.
Imagine this. Hey, I got to get under your car to get my juice, because they're not going to explain it well, because they're not very good socially. So it's going to be weird. It's going to be fucking weird. Just the bottom line is it's going to be
like, weird. Okay, so if you're introverted or suck at social, then
be like, hey,
how are you so comfortable with talking in front of people on a show?
It's not that I'm introverted. It's simply that I recognize, after being alive for almost 40 years, that when I approach people at random, that I, even with a happy face, like my presence can be intimidating to people, especially women in their middle age. She was like her late 30s, early 40s, right? I'm just gonna roll up on her and like knock on her window. Probably not.
And I'm introverted.
How tall are you?
6 foot-ish. 225.
It's not like you're a giant or something. I mean,
no, but I understand very starkly how afraid some woman at a truck stop, isolated outside of Boise, Idaho, would probably feel if some random dude just rolled up on their fucking door saying, "Hey, move your car," right? Like, she's not going to listen to what I have to say. And even if she did, like, I'm probably going to scare the shit out of her, and it's not worth a fucking bottle of one shot that I mixed up on the fucking way, right? Like, right? Like, I'm just going to go roll up and give this fucking poor woman a stroke just so I can get my juice. Like, come on.
Oh, it's so.
It's cool. We'll just go. I'll fucking
animate this.
Shut down all your pod systems.
We need to animate this story.
It's probably less than $1 worth of stuff anyway to make it. So
exactly. Like, it's not.
Unless you
use. That's all he had, though.
I mean, like
when it's all you have, it's priceless.
He's gonna have to buy Naked 100.
I'm not saying this to like bitch or whatever, because I completely and totally get the logic. Like, I'm not like saying this is like a poor me thing, but like I've been a big dude for a while, and like even like back in college and shit, like I got really used to people like crossing streets when they're alone. You know what I'm saying? Like
the strife.
it's like that kind of vibe, and it's just something that kind of comes along with the territory. Not that I'm a particularly like mean or menacing person or anything, but like just from even like a logical standpoint,
You're a big
you see
dude with a mustache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then people get to know you and they love you. What do you think it is like to be me when people get to know you and then they treat you the way they treat you when they don't know you?
No, but I'm just saying, like, there's a certain like being a bigger guy in general has a whole lot of benefits in life, but one of them isn't that strangers automatically think you're not gonna murder them.
Yeah, they're the two of them together. I don't know, man. I mean, I know you guys. I don't know what I would think if I didn't know you.
Like the first like 3 or 4 times it happened, like when I went to college, I was like sort of confused and like, oh, but I'm a nice person, and then like I thought about it and I was like, yeah, but I'm also like a lot bigger than most of the people that I was going to school with, and I don't look particularly friendly if I'm not smiling. So yeah, no, I totally get it. Like it's not a big deal.
And even if we are smiling, like sometimes that's just as bad.
Then it's even worse because they think that you're a creep.
God, he's gonna kill me and he's laughing about it.
The fuck's this guy smiling at?
The other kind of creep.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'm the other kind of creep, right? And then it goes from murder to something.
Even being an introvert, though, like you can still do shows. I'm an introvert totally at heart, but it's just like, no, dude, this is my release. So I don't.
This is like a comfort zone thing.
Yeah, like I'm comfortable with all of you people, so I love talking to you people, and then I have people listening. But like, I don't talk to people during the day.
You're also not technically talking to us face to face.
Exactly.
Through a computer monitor.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that does help.
But how many people have you met that you talk to? Like I probably talk to them more than I talk to anybody else. You know what I mean? So how many people have you talked to that you only talk to on the computer? Pretty much. It's kind of weird, to be honest with you.
All of you.
I'm not even particularly introverted. I'm not extroverted either.
I'm not. Yeah, like I am. Like I'm not super introverted, but I'm definitely like on that scale.
I have a hard limit, like socially, right? Where like I hit like a max capacity number of people I can deal with at a certain time, and it's usually it's a smaller number, right? It's not huge. I can't like get down in like room full of 100 people or something.
Yeah, like I'm the person who I'll talk to you at work if you talk to me, or I'll randomly strike up a conversation, but like I'm never gonna call you to say like, hey, let's go grab a beer after work.
No,
Jerry's never gonna call me. Why am I even here?
Even after you sent him his stuff, he still doesn't want to give me the time.
Well, I was gonna offer him something, but okay.
Him. Look, he left.
He's sad.
Listen,
I was gonna actually offer to send him one of these, but okay.
Believe it or not, I'm a little
you
bit
just send it to me instead. I'll be happy with it.
The beauty that is Kentucky breakfast
Bring it
stout.
over.
Yeah, I'll take a bottle.
I almost spent $400 today buying 20 of these.
Holy shit!
Tried really hard not to. It's so fucking good.
Huh?
You know they make beer for cheap too, right?
Yes, but this is so much better.
You wouldn't have known no Shindo either.
This is a tall can of PBR.
You wouldn't have recognized Shindo either.
This is so much fucking better.
Why do you think I wouldn't have recognized Shindo?
I promise you wouldn't have.
You would have recognized him.
I recognized him immediately, but
I recognized
he was indoors.
him, but it was
Wait, why are you back to that again?
I don't know.
Get it off.
No,
Dude,
but couple, do you want one of these?
Chill out on the acid, man. You're talking in circles.
What are you talking about? Because you guys
I think I've had one of those before.
Conversation.
Let me see it again. Everybody's fucking talking to.
Kentucky breakfast stout from Founders.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. That's the special one, right?
Yeah, that's the very special one. You want?
Because I've had the breakfast stout.
Right.
From Founders.
Oh, I still have some breakfast stout. I bought a pack of breakfast stout to convince myself to not spend $400 buying these. Because these are really hard to get. They only make them once a year for a week. And like, okay, this bottle cost me $20.
Fuck that, dude.
Dude, I've spent
do you
way
want
more
one?
for a single beer that was smaller. Sometimes it's
I
worth
have two.
it.
No, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Like this is on top 10 lists everywhere for a reason.
The most expensive beer I tried was at the time the world's strongest beer called Armageddon.
I've had Armageddon before. It was
Yeah.
expensive as fuck. It was like
It was, but it was delicious and smooth, like really smooth for how much alcohol was in it.
I'm trying to remember how much
How
it cost.
much?
I was pretty
Yeah.
drunk by the time I already got a hold of it.
I
Oh.
think it was like almost $100 with all
Yeah.
the shipping and everything
Oh, I mean,
for a
no, I mean
single
alcohol
12-ounce
percent.
bottle.
I didn't have to
Right,
ship
for
it.
how
It
much-
was
how
it was
much
in the
alcohol?
shop where I bought it, but it was like $100, I think. Yeah, close to $100.
Yeah, how much alcohol?
It's like 13 or 14% or 15%. It's like
No,
ridiculous.
no,
Gotta be more than that.
no. It was the highest
Yeah,
out
it's
of
gotta be
all
more
the
than
beers.
that.
Hang
It
on,
was
I gotta
like
look.
65% was close.
That's liquor.
No, I know, but it was a beer. But the way they
Okay.
did it is they freeze it and then
Oh, it's 30. It's 31 or 65%. So 31%. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
65%.
65%. You're right.
Yeah. Good memory, apparently. That was years
No,
ago.
I mean I was drunk when I was drunk when I drank it.
No,
Like,
that's why I love
Yeah.
I was
this.
already shit faced.
Like do
This is-
shots of it and you're done.
What's it called?
Armageddon.
Oh yeah.
But it's smooth as fuck. But they freeze it and then they all the water that freezes out of it, they just
Goes to the yeah.
So it's like ice wine then.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like-
Basically,
Baileys.
it's discontinued now though. You can't buy it.
Oh, yeah.
anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they-
That sucks.
Well, okay, so somebody else beat them for the world's strongest beer a few years later, and then they ended up discontinuing Armageddon. I remember looking at it like probably
This-
2 years after I tried it. It was pretty quick before they got before they stopped.
I will warn you, this year's is not as good as some of the previous years, but it's still fantastic. Because this
Well-
for KBS, this is my favorite beer of all time. I'm totally biased towards this because also regular breakfast stout is my fucking breakfast beer. Like, I've been trained to like Founders because my uncle used to buy me since I was like the age of 16. He would buy me a case of breakfast stout for every birthday. But Kentucky breakfast stout is just that, but then you age it for 3 years, and everything comes through.
This is the stuff you guys were talking about
Everything.
that night in the backyard, right?
I think the most expensive bottle of beer I ever bought was the bottle of Pliny the Elder. So I'm kind of
Yeah, that's
I didn't go that high.
Have you guys ever
Yeah,
had?
the elder's what? Like depending on where you're at, it might only run you like $35.
Yeah, I think
But-
it was somewhere around 30. It wasn't a big deal at the time. We had a good bottle shop when I was yeah.
I've
I
never
mean,
paid
it's
that much for
not
beer.
the youngers, or sorry, it's
Yeah,
not.
me either.
Yeah, the younger is the one that's the harder to
Which
find,
is-
and you can only get it like at the location.
I've never paid that much just because it's like, okay, this is already a top 10 beer list on like every beer list. This is top 10, and I used to be able to buy this for $10 a 12 ounce. Now this is a deal to me of $20 for a 750 ml. But
Mhm.
like, I mean, even going outside of the U.S., like I've had some good Fs from Belgium that were like probably about $7 a bottle that were ranked for the world for a while. So it's just like
It's a lot of money for a beer, dude. $35. That's a lot of money.
exactly. So
Honestly,
it's like
you're not-
if I can get
You're
if I
not
can get-
drinking it though to get drunk. You're drinking it.
No, I know for
literally
pleasure.
For the taste. Yeah, it's
yeah.
purely
But even
enjoyment.
No, I know, but
Even so,
it is still a value thing to me where it's like
Yeah.
no, I bought like I think it was like at the time it was ranked 2 in the entire world for $7, and it's just like, no, this is fucking fantastic. I'm gonna buy 3 of these instead of 1.
Right, 'cause
But
it
at the
gets to
same
point
time,
where you're like,
I will
breaking
buy one of those.
shit
I'll buy
down.
one for 40 to try it. But like,
It's just saying.
I'll then go back and buy 3 of the ones for $7 that are ranked. Because like the rank 2 is still fuck. And this is fuck.
You think you'd go for the number 2? If it's just as good.
Not just as
Uh-huh.
good, but it's pretty close.
That's crazy, dude.
Okay. I
Okay.
gotta bail.
Okay.
I'm getting all shaky and sweaty. No, actually,
No.
seriously, I'm gonna go eat some dinner and shit.
All right. Go have fun with
mean,
your real
it's-
masters, please.
It's not much different than spending as much as I do on whiskey.
I kind of want to go catch Pikachu.
Later, guys.
Have a good
Yeah,
one.
man.
Later, whiskey, I get though. I kind of get whiskey only because maybe I've been trained to understand that that's what people do with whiskey.
Well, this is half whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, there's a,
Beers- Go ahead.
That's the point of this. That's why this costs so much. It's half whiskey.
I don't know why I think that it's different with beer.
I don't see any reason why it would be. Alcohol is alcohol, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But you know what I'm saying?
But I spent like $700 or $800 on a bottle of scotch without even fucking thinking twice about it. Easy, easy,
Yeah,
and that's not even like
right.
No, that's why I almost spent $400 today. Was where I bought this. That was the first place I've ever found this before ever in my entire life that they would be willing to sell you more than a bottle. Normally, to get this, you have to, if you're in Grand Rapids where I used to live, and I used to go to the actual brewery where they made it, you would have to be in the mug club and then wait on usually about a 14-month waiting list to buy a 6-pack.
They're doing the high-end bullshit on you. You had to be in a Facebook group to get it.
Yeah, basically, because that was no, like to be able to make this, they literally have to close down their entire plant for an entire week.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is it like a thing where it's false hype? You know what I mean? Like,
but this is real. That's real hype. If you have to close down your entire production for an entire week of everything that is your bread and butter to be able to make one thing, it's not really false hype.
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I mean,
because
like somebody says $800 for scotch. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know,
and it's the same kind of thing where it's like, no, I've been there. Like, I know the people, and it's one of those things where it's like, no, like,
well,
I'm not kidding when they make everything, and they've I think they're shipping nationally, but they've almost, if not almost, are nationally now. Where it's like, no, their entire brewery is still a fucking bar. Like, that's it. It's not multiple locations. It's a fucking brewery.
A scotch company, when they start out, it's like minimum, 8 years before they can, you know what I'm saying? So they start a scotch company, they start to age it. They have to wait 8 years before they can put a bottle on the market.
Some of them, yeah.
16, 20 years sometimes.
Yeah. But I'm saying minimum, like they have the real low
the sweet spot.
Right? It's like 8.
12's like the money spot, right? 12's like the average.
Johnny Black, like that's like 12.
So 12 years is like the average.
Shit.
16 years is good, right? That's where you start getting into the $100, $150, $200 range. That's
crazy, dude. That's crazy to think of, like, starting a company like that. Like, you're not gonna see any kind of profit for 8 years or 12 years.
So the thing is they don't age literally every single bottle for 16 years, right?
Right.
You can turn whiskey around in a year and you sell it cheap in a fucking Old Crow bottle, right, with a fucking $10 label, and you sell that shit.
And don't diss Old Crow.
I'm not dissing Old Crow. I'm just saying that it's not aged the same way, right?
But if you're going cheap, Old Crow.
Old Crow is 100% reliable on the cheap. I'm all about it, right? But like, if you're like, you're not running a company 16 years in advance all the time, because they have other products, right? And they have runoff and all kinds of other shit that they can do and provide, like, to make money in the meantime, right? So the 16-year is like the extra, right? Because the only thing it costs them in the long term is storage, really, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of maintenance to be done and stuff that just has to sit in a barrel forever.
Like, that's why a lot of those people who are still able or are currently doing really aged blends are, every single one will put on their label like, hey, dude, we're from 18. That's just because.
Yeah, I mean, these are all companies that have been doing it for hundreds of years.
Yeah. And like, there's not like some new brand that's like, hey, dude, we started this in 2000.
And now they're here, right? 16 years later.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, my kid's going to be home in like 5 minutes, so I'm going to call it.
All right.
But
I think we're going to wrap up the show then.
Yeah, I'll see you all another time, maybe, if I happen to be free on a Thursday evening again. You guys do every Thursday?
Every Thursday.
What time do you actually start?
Since In the Mix went off, we're usually around 9-ish Eastern.
9 Eastern? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't even catch up to like an hour after, but since you're running so late, it's possible.
We can still send you a link if you ever want to come on.
Sure, I'll holler at you.
All
Cheers,
right,
guys.
Dude. Have a good one, bud. Thank you.
Hey, later, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Well, yeah, I think that's going to be the wrap-up of this episode. Also, we have less than 10 minutes left, so that perfectly. Blah, blah, blah.
Black Cat Whiteface on YouTube.
Black Cat Whiteface. Go follow him on YouTube. I posted the link about 30 times. Rick did too, so yeah, please do. Thank you to my remaining co-hosts. And, yeah, I'm not going to bother posting outro music, so suck a dick.
Peace out.